An ordinary guy suddenly finds himself transported to another world, along with a group of heroes. But while everyone else gains incredible powers, he's given a skill that seems completely useless in battle. So he decides to ditch the whole save the world thing and set off on a carefree journey full of adventures and cooking. The episode begins in the forest, where spiders are lurking, ambushing a wild rabbit. The wolf Makuta intervenes, blasting them with an electric shock that drops them one after another. Makuta finally appears and comments that they are foolish hairy spiders. He asks what they should do with them since they gathered so many. The wolf, Field, replies, "I don't know, but the poisonous tarantula shell is too tough to eat." Makuta is surprised. What? Are these spiders even edible in the first place? I think it's disgusting. Finally, Sue emerges from his hiding spot and says, "Is it over? I want to play." Makuta tells him, "Come on, my friend Sue, come out now. The coast is clear and everything is fine." The wolf gets angry and says, "Why do you always speak to Sue in such a friendly and lovely way, but you never speak to me?" Makuta looks at him with a puzzled expression and says, "How so? I talk and listen to you too, Field. Have you forgotten? Every day you tell me you want to eat this and that. I want meat. No, I don't want vegetables. No, I want a hot drink. Who does all that for you, Field, you silly wolf?" Field, now agitated, replies, Fine. Go prepare my meal then. I've been lying down all day with you two on my back. I need to eat a good meal. You should be grateful for the chance to ride on the back of a legendary magical beast like me." Before they leave, Makuta reconsiders. He activates his magical satchel and collects all the spiders, saying, maybe they'll be useful later. About half an hour into their journey, he ponders, what should we eat today? He sets up a table and brings out meat, but they eventually decide on eating gyoza. First, they need to get some gyoza wrappers and spices from the online store. He activates the store, and they buy everything in a matter of seconds. The delivery box arrives, filled with the purchased items, possibly ketchup, mayonnaise, and other secret ingredients. He then prepares the cilantro and vegetables. The vegetables are chopped, and then he adds some ginger and garlic paste to the ground meat. He also adds some soy sauce, sake, chicken stock powder, and finally sesame oil, salt, and pepper. Since you can't taste raw meat while seasoning, they have to add the ingredients carefully. Next, he kneads and kneads until everything sticks together. Then he adds the Japanese chives and the cabbage, which was salted and squeezed to remove moisture, mixing them well for 3 minutes. After that, they take the filling and the dough and wrap it like a stuffed grape leaf, trying to add a little less filling. Sue tries a piece and finds it very delicious. They arrange the gyoza and cook them over a steady medium heat. As soon as the color starts to change, he adds a water solution and covers the pan. After a quarter of an hour, he adds sesame oil, and finally, the finished product appears. The fully seasoned gyoza is ready. What do you think, dear viewers? Let me know in the comments if your mouth is watering. I added plenty of spices to the filling. It should taste delicious on its own. He serves it to Field and Sue, noting that adding some chili oil and soy sauce is also great. Field eats it and finds it truly wonderful. The meat and its juices burst in his mouth as he bites into it. The crispy skin and the meat are truly delicious. They continue eating, wanting another serving. Finally, Makuta eats his own creation and drinks a soda. Suddenly, he is greatly shocked when he finds a small red dragon clinging to his face. He screams, "Help me! Help me!" The dragon flies in front of him. Field assesses the situation and says, "What is this?" "It's a very rare Beckshi dragon. It wants food." Makuta offers it some food, and the dragon tastes it happily, devouring it in seconds and wanting more. Field warns him, "Don't underestimate this dragon. It's small, but very powerful. These creatures are fast and truly skilled in all kinds of magic." The dragon looks at Makuta strangely, flies, and does something, then says, "This food is so delicious. Give me another meal." Makuta is stunned that it can talk. The dragon then adds, "I don't mind becoming a contracted companion if I can eat delicious food like this." Makuta is nearly speechless that the dragon speaks just like them. "Tell me, dragon, will you become a contracted companion just to get some food? Are you serious? You should reconsider." The Beckshi dragon replies, "Your food is the most delicious food I've ever tasted in my life. It's simple. Now I can eat even more delicious food if I stay with you." Field tells him that entering a contract with a human for a few decades is not a great loss for us. Then the dragon speaks to Makuta again and tells him, "The first thing you must do now, as my master, is to give me a special name." Makuta thinks, then says to him, "How about Dora-chan?" The other one gets angry and says to him, "Are you kidding me? Give me a proper name. Don't treat me like a child. I'm a grown dragon, 116 years old." But the name has already been decided on the list. Then Field tells him, "Don't expect anything from this detestable human. He gave me names before that all made me angry for some reason, and in the end, he named me Field." Then the dragon gets along with Sue very easily, bouncing on him as if he were a sponge or a spring that lifts him up. After that, the scene moves to the Adventurers Guild, where the receptionist girl says to him, "Welcome. Your familiar has been successfully registered." I never expected the day would come when I would register a dragon as someone's familiar. It's very strange. But listen closely. Our guildmaster has a request for you. He asked her, "Why me?" At that moment, the guildmaster, Rodolfo, arrives and says to him, "Are you Makuta? Pleased to meet you, you idiot. This must be your Beckshi dragon. I've heard of them before, but never expected to see one in person." Makuta approaches them and says, "What do you want, manager?" The manager gets straight to the point and wants to offer him a quest. Yes, it's about exploring the forest. The forest has been acting strange lately. It's not even mating season, but the monsters have become more aggressive. Makuta asks him, well, why doesn't everyone just avoid the forest? The other one gets angry and says to him, we can't do that. The spiderwebs released by the insect monsters that live in that forest are the raw material we need to manufacture our town's high-quality textile. The town's trade will suffer if we lose the source of our raw materials. The town's trade will suffer if we lose the source of our raw materials. Can you help us with this? Makuta thought he couldn't take on such a dangerous mission and enter that forest. However, the dragon tells him that the northern forest is very easy, full of spiders that are very weak creatures. Suddenly, Makuta realizes that this is the very forest they were in just a moment ago, where they eliminated all the spiders that crossed their path. Field confirms, we took care of all of them with my lightning magic. The guildmaster can hardly believe it. Makuta pulls out one of the dead spiders from his supply gate, stunning the guildmaster, who is amazed he acquired it so instantly. Field interjects that he launched his attack in anger and punished it. Makuta apologizes, saying he didn't know these monsters were valuable to the guildmaster's town. But the chief doesn't just want them dead. He wants them because their meat is delicious, and these monsters have a great ability to reproduce. We often organized subjugation teams to deal with them, he explains. Makuta then pulls out all the spiders from his magical gate. The chief thanks him profusely, saying this is the first time a problem has been solved, even before he finished making the request to Makuta. He mentions that the poisonous spider shells and webs fetch a lot of money, and their meat is delicious when boiled in salt water. All of Makuta's animal friends are delighted and want to try the meat. Makuta asks the guildmaster to sell the shells and webs on the condition that he process the meat for them. The chief agrees. I will process the meat specifically so that it can be eaten immediately. After that, Makuta and his friends go to the market to check it out and buy some high-quality, cheap clothes. Makuta starts examining the clothes and finds the fabric quality to be amazing. The merchant appears and assures him that he won't be able to buy this cloth for such a cheap price in other towns. Field states that all clothes look the same, making Makuta angry. You don't care because you have fur to cover you, but I have my needs. Makuta buys some of the cloth and goes back to the chief, hoping the processing is finished. Indeed, he returns to the chief and finds he has finished processing the spiders. The meat has been separated and looks like crab. The chief explains that it tastes very sweet after boiling. Makuta eats a piece and finds it very appetizing, tasting like crab, but even better. Everyone gathers around, wanting to eat. Makuta prepares fried rice with lots of minced spider meat, a salad, and a crab omelet. He will also prepare meatballs if he has time, all to celebrate Dorajun, the great dragon. Everyone starts eating. Field says that the crab omelet perfectly combines the richness and sweetness of the poisonous spiders with the softness of the egg and a sweet and salty sauce, which is also delicious with the rice. They all eat happily. Dorajun is seen eating the hot food, as the fried spring rolls are very hot. Makuta roasts some more of the crab on the stove. It's not actually crab, but it closely resembles roasted crab. Field smells a different aroma from the food they were eating, rushes to Makuta and says, "You're hiding food from us. It smells so delicious." Everyone crowds around, wanting to try the food he is preparing. He offers them some, and they find it to be the most delicious food they have ever eaten, nearly melting in their mouths. Dora is very happy and says, "Thank goodness I met a cook like you. I have indeed heard a lot about you and searched a lot until I found you." In the evening, they return home and head to the warm bath, enjoying it. Makuta and Sue wished Field and Dora would join them, but they see them lying down. Dora says, "I can't eat another bite," and their stomachs are full. Makuta tells them that this happens often after eating crab. Makuta goes to bed as it was a very difficult day. "I will go to the guild tomorrow and deliver the shells to the guildmaster Rodolfo. I feel like I forgot something, but I'll sleep now." In the morning, Makuta delivers the shells to the chief, who is very happy with them. He also offers him some of the spider meat they hadn't eaten, telling him he has more. He opens his magical gate and storage to pull out more. He finds a giant earth dragon's head right in his face, the huge, troublesome prey that Field had hunted before. "I kept it stored, but I should do something about it," he thinks. He then tells the chief, "I heard there's someone who knows a lot about dragons in Dolan. Do you know who it might be?" The chief replies, "I have an idea." Makuta says, "I was hoping to find someone who could process this thing." The chief is astonished. It's the first time he's seen a giant earth dragon in person. "I heard you could buy a whole kingdom with one of those." Field boasts that it was no match for him, and the chief compliments him, saying he is very strong. The chief then hands Makuta a piece of paper with the address of the person who knows a lot about dragons. Makuta thanks him profusely. After that, they intend to head to Dolan. This concludes our episode. Wait for us in future episodes of this wonderful anime. Please subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all that is new. Our episode today begins with the great Makoto and the beautiful wolf, standing on the outskirts of the great country of Dolan. It's a very large city with a huge dungeon. Sui takes out the bag and says, "Sui wants to venture into that dungeon. I am ready for the adventure with bated breath." Then the dragon also comes and says to him, "Don't worry about the dungeon now. Shouldn't we process the earth dragon's meat first? We want to eat this meat," so they set off at rocket speed and finally reach the city limits. The walls were very high and they saw a large queue at the main gate of the city. But they must stand in this queue and show their guild card, or they will never enter that city. The wolf asks, "Wouldn't it be faster to jump over the walls?" Makoto informed him, "You idiot. If we do that, we will be instantly registered, and if we can't enter the city, we won't be able to process the meat you love." The wolf gets angry and says, "Well, there's nothing we can do." They indeed line up in the queue, but people are astonished and say, "What are these large creatures and that rare small red dragon?" At that moment, the soldiers see them and ask, "What is all this commotion? Who are you?" Makoto replied, "We are visitors from another country and wish to enter this city. I am officially registered with the guild," and he shows them his guild card. When the soldiers looked at it, they found that it was indeed not fake. At that moment, a strange man arrives and says to them, "A moment, please." Then he informs them that this man is his guest. I am sure he has two rare accompanying creatures beside him. Makoto asks him, "Who are you? Are you Elant?" He recognizes him and knows that he is indeed that long-eared elven man. Yes, my friends, he is the guildmaster of the city of Dolan himself, but when he looked at the little dragon, he was greatly shocked. At that moment, he takes them and hosts them in his private office. Makoto is very happy because he won't have to wait in that very long, wide queue. At that moment, he brings this strange thing and says to the dragon, "Please sit here." It was an object made of wood, infused with mana. I heard that pixie dragons only sit on this type of wood. After that, we see the guildmaster very excited, taking notes, and then he offers them tea. Meanwhile, the dragon offers him the flower nectar infused with mana. He was very fond of it and says, "It's truly great. Will you sell it to me?" But Makoto told him, "I don't sell anything. He is a friend of mine, and he wants me and no one else." Island said, "Fine, let's go to the warehouse and start the processing immediately." The meat processing, I mean. They indeed arrive at the warehouse, and when he opens the door, he is shocked to find a man named Agor, who informs him that he has a meeting with the Merchants Guild this afternoon. The guildmaster asks him, "Can we cancel that meeting?" But Agor gives him a strange look that shocks him without speaking. However, Makoto speaks and apologizes to Agor, and the meeting time is indeed postponed. Then Island puts on the gloves and says, "Come on, show me the sample. I have been waiting for this day with bated breath for over 200 years. Before I joined the guild, I retired from being an adventurer and took up the position of guildmaster, hoping that I would bring out an earth dragon. But unfortunately, I never got the chance, and now the opportunity has come before my eyes. Come on, bring out what you have, Makoto." And indeed, he brings out that very great dragon, and the guildmaster is shocked and says, "Oh, the splendor. It is truly a giant earth creature. I can't believe myself. I can't believe that I will be able to discover the insights of this dragon at my leisure. But I am very expert in such things." Then he said, "First, we must record a complete record of this great achievement." He measures it with a meter, inch by inch and centimeter by centimeter, body length, internal organs, number of fangs, bite size, everything in detail. Then Makoto calls out to him, "Listen to me carefully. This dragon next to you, I've confirmed that its diet is not the flower nectar you gave it. What does it usually eat?" He informed him. "First, this dragon's name is Dora. As for food, it eats anything. I don't think it has a specific dietary ability or restrictions. We all eat the food I prepare for them, like meat and vegetables." The guildmaster was very shocked. And then Dora the dragon says to Makoto, who understands his language well, "They eat anything, but the main meal is meat." The guildmaster is surprised more and more and says, "What's the story? Is he talking to him or what? And how does he understand his language?" Makoto explains the matter to him. "He usually talks to me through telepathy." The guildmaster is shocked and grabs him, saying, "What? What? This is the first time I've heard of telepathy in my long elven life. What are you saying, man? Tell me the details of all this immediately." Then the wolf speaks to him and says, "Listen, you pampered boy. Be careful to cook the meat well and bring it out for us in the right way," the guildmaster informed him. Not only that, but the dragon's parts, such as the skin and blood, are very valuable materials that everyone strives to obtain. The wolf informed him that he is not interested in such things. They are worthless compared to the deliciousness of the dragon meat. He is shocked even more and says, "What? What? Will you eat the earth dragon?" When he looked at Makoto, he said, "Why are you surprised, guildmaster? We will all eat it together." He grabs his hand and says to him, crying, "Please, allow me to taste the earth dragon also. I don't mind giving up my share. Please, please." Makoto told him, "Actually, Phil is the one who decides this matter," referring to the large wolf. The wolf comes and says to him, "Listen carefully, Elant. If you can process the dragon meat correctly, I don't mind you sharing a small portion with us." Elant thanks him greatly. The scene shifts to the morning. Makoto and his group were sleeping on the floor and talking about the dragon. He says, "I am so hungry that I am about to die. I am starving, my lord. We must eat this meat today or I will do strange things." Sui was also hungry. Everyone is tired and ready to eat, but where is the food? Makoto thought and said, "Let's eat something from the internet grocery." The wolf asks, "Is there Wagyu? I want to eat it." He told him that they are holding a keto exhibition, which is a place in Makoto's world that has truly delicious food. "We will get food from there today. We need some Genghis Khan, which is meat that has already been marinated. They also have a set that comes with the beautiful pot, the delicious, well-stewed bean pot. And let's also get some pre-cut vegetables. We might add that souvenir too." In just moments, the box is sent immediately. It's a great thing. Everyone is truly amazed. Then he gets the gear, takes out the stove and starts the heating process in this pot without oil. After that, he adds the meat to the center of the pot and pours the sauce around it, letting it boil. We flip the meat when we see the sauce starting to form large bubbles. Lamb and mutton are the tastiest when we don't overcook them. After finishing, he serves it to everyone. The wolf sniffs it but finally tastes it and finds it very delicious. As for the dragon, he says, "This meat is so tender. I have never eaten anything this delicious before." After eating, each of them went to sleep. Makoto said, "It was an exhausting day, but everything succeeded in the end. The online supermarket saved me today, and I got it as a souvenir before." He holds some sweets, and Sui wakes up, wanting to try some. He eats one and finds it very delicious. Everyone wakes up and comes to taste these delicious sweets as well. He hands each of them a piece, and they find it incredibly tasty, melting in their mouths. Then Phil wants another piece because the size is too small for him. Everyone asks for the same. In the end, he gives them all the remaining sweets, and they are extremely happy. After a while, Makoto and his friends leave, showing signs of fatigue as they haven't slept. They head to the guild, where the vice guildmaster receives them. Makoto asks him about Aylin's condition with the Earth Dragon. At that moment, the guildmaster comes out and says, I am extremely excited now. I spent the entire night measuring, analyzing, and studying all aspects. Signs of fatigue and lack of sleep are visible in his eyes. He says, I am productive like this in my elven life. Makoto is happy then. Afterward, the guildmaster puts on his gloves and begins the processing. But first he wants to draw blood because he wants to avoid damaging the surface as much as possible. He will use a special knife because the dragon's skin is very tough, so he brought the precious Mithril knife belonging to the Adventurers Guild. He then starts using the knife on a piece of skin, and suddenly, the knife breaks. He and everyone else are terrified because this knife is a guild treasure. According to the records, Mithril should easily be able to cut the skin of this dragon. The guildmaster says, we must bring a knife stronger than this material, stronger than Mithril, and we must bring it quickly. Phil is very anxious because he wants to eat the meat quickly. Makoto informs them that it cannot be processed for some time. Phil is shocked then and collapses to the ground, unconscious, saying, we traveled all this distance to enjoy the dragon meat? The Vice Guildmaster informs them, our guild does not possess another Mithril knife. We might be able to get some Mithril ore from the dungeon. Phil immediately stands up, his spirits lifted, and says, this will be a perfect opportunity to vent this frustration. But Makoto informs him that the leader is exhausted today, so they must rest. However, Phil is determined to go to the dungeon. Makoto tries to stop him, but to no avail. Phil says to him, there's no need for you to accompany me, I can bring some of this ore myself. But in the end, Makoto convinces them not to go today, as they will attract attention, and then they won't be able to travel and eat delicious food, and there will be a big problem. Then he informs them that it is time for food. They all rejoice. Our cook, Makoto, begins preparing the ingredients. He starts by frying some sliced orc meat and adds some vegetables. We can use the vegetables we didn't use in the Genghis Khan pot in the previous meal I prepared a moment ago. Then he adds some sauce to the meat with these vegetables for a while, and also some garlic paste to add some depth, as well as sesame oil. Phil says, it smells so good. The garlic and sesame oil make it very appetizing. Makoto serves them the dish after it is ready, and he adds an egg on top of each plate to make it more appetizing. They start eating, and the food's aroma and taste are very delicious. They all rejoice. Makoto says, praise be to God, I managed to distract them from exploring the dungeon. Nevertheless, we must do something about processing the meat. The scene then shifts to some goddesses who are arguing among themselves. Then some gods appear to them. They are shocked, because the goddesses are hiding something from them, which is that they are coercing others into giving them gifts and offerings. But they defend themselves and say, that's not the case, we are not evil. Makoto hears them from another place using remote telepathy. He says to them, please confine the disputes among yourselves. The man with the yellow hair says, I am the god of blacksmithing in this world, Hephaestus. The other says, I am the god of war, Vahagan. Makoto then asks the god of blacksmithing about the Mithril knife. The god of blacksmithing informs him that he can make a high-quality knife from the same Mithril ore, but he wants something in return for this. He wants some offerings, and also to grant them his power. Makoto asks them to grant their powers to Phil, Dora, and all his friends. Makoto then notices that Sui has a new skill, the blacksmithing skill. Oh, we should try that when we get the Mithril ore. Phil says, I completely forgot, we have ore from the Mithril lizard we hunted in the past. Makoto is surprised when he says that, and indeed remembers that they have this ore from the lizard. He says to him, you knew we had ore, but despite that you tried to enter the dungeon. Then he takes out this ore and offers it to Sui, asking him, can you turn this into the same type of knife that the guildmaster broke? Sui attempts to do so and indeed manages to make a knife like it, an enhanced Mithril knife, which is very strong. With this, they will be able to cut and process this dragon. And with this, today's episode ends. Wait for us in future episodes of this wonderful anime, The Chef Makoto. But before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive everything new. We also hope that those who followed us to the end of this episode will tell us where they are watching us from. Our episode begins when Makoto was going to the guild official who was supposed to process and adjust the meat for him, but the knife broke. When they went to him, they found him at his desk, very sad. Perhaps he was looking for a Mithril blade so he could cut the dragon meat. It seems the shock affected him greatly. Here, Makoto speaks to the guild official and tells him, actually, there is something I was hoping you would try, and then hands him the wrapped knife. The elven man takes the knife, wanting to try it. He says, I hope it works, and the cutting process begins. Everyone holds their breath, hoping the knife cuts and doesn't break. And indeed, my friends, the surprise was that the knife cut instantly. It was completely different from the previous knife. He was very happy, then he looks at him and says, how did you manage to get such an amazing knife? Makoto gets flustered and tells him, no, it's just from someone I know. The elven man was very happy, holding the knife and raising it up, saying, finally, I can cut the dragon, and I'll be at ease. This is great work, I will process it. When Makoto asked him how long it would take, the other person began, saying, I want to investigate every part of it, so I need about 3 days because this is a huge thing, and I don't think the furnace we have is strong enough to handle it. Here, Finn gets angry and tells Makoto that he can't wait any longer. He wants to eat the dragon meat. Makoto tells him, you must wait, the prey is too big, what can be done? Maybe we'll explore the dungeon while everything is being processed. Here, Makoto tells him, no, we won't go, but the dragon comes out and tells him, Fel is right, let's go. I want to see the effect of the blessing I got. It's really strange, my friends, it's not like they are going to an amusement park. Sui also wants to go to the dungeon. They start trying to persuade him to go to the dungeon. Finally, Mukoda agrees and tells them, fine, this is only one time. Everyone is happy and dancing with joy. The scene shifts to the city, specifically to that area where we see those guards, and we see Mukoda and his group talking to the guild receptionist, who tells them, it depends on the adventurer, but usually, once you enter, it can take from 3 days to a month. I know it's a long time, but the dungeon has 30 floors, and no one knows what will happen upon entering. So it is advised to take a lot of food with you. If you intend to go deeper into the dungeon, you will need to prepare suitable equipment, as basically no one has been able to complete this dungeon yet. He said to her, okay, I've changed my mind. I didn't know it would be that difficult. She told him, well, you should take it easy. Then hands him his guild card back. Meanwhile, Fen and the dragon were very angry and told him, we came all this way and we won't enter, you idiot. He told them telepathically, I want to prepare a lot of food. We must have a lot, so be patient. Perhaps you won't be satisfied if we enter the dungeon and eat bad food, he convinces them, and they leave afterwards. They go shopping. People were very surprised and saying, look at those accompanying creatures, they are giant, and what is that great wolf, and he also has a dragon. People are amazed by them in that city, which is one of the 5 largest cities in this kingdom. That vendor calls out to him and says, you, the owner of the wolf, come here and take a look. We have all the fresh vegetables that were harvested today. Mukoda looks at them and says, yes, they are very cheap. I should buy some to take with me. When he asked about a kilo of meat, he found it was for 1 gold coin. Makoto is surprised because it is very expensive. The man said to him, what are you talking about, man? It's monster meat. It's a luxury commodity. Makoto then remembers and says, yes, I think the party that was eating with me was devouring it greedily, but in the end, I won't buy meat. Fel and the others can always hunt meat for us. So, I want some of this rolled bread, carrots, and onions. He buys them and leaves. Then he arrives at this oven and finds it's a magic oven with 4 heating elements. The seller comes and says to him, hello, sir, you have a discerning eye. This is the latest model of magic ovens on the market. It is the best thing on the market. I advise you to buy it. Mukoda asked him, what is its firepower? He informed him that it is very high. The merchant then tells him that this oven has carefully selected magic stones, so its heating output is excellent. In addition to that, this oven has achieved the highest sales. This oven is powerful enough to roast an entire cockatrice. Mukoda understands that he probably won't be able to roast monsters with this oven, but it's better than his current one. If he gets it, he'll be able to cook a greater variety of food. He then asks the merchant about the cost, and the merchant tells him it costs 860 gold pieces. Mukoda is shocked by the price. The wolf speaks to him, asking him to buy it because with it they can eat new kinds of delicious meals and also eat more tasty food. Since he has the money to buy it, there's no harm in getting it. Furthermore, this oven uses the same gas cylinders as his portable oven. Mukoda thinks for a moment and agrees to buy it. At night, Mukoda and his familiars return to their accommodation, where Mukoda is able to cook many kinds of food. At that time, Sui comes over and asks him about these pots. Mukoda replies that they are soup pots. They are huge, as he wanted large pots to hold his food, although he wanted a larger size than that but couldn't find them, as they were not available online. He then shows him tonight's dinner and asks him to tell his friends that it's mealtime. Indeed, the wolf and the little dragon come to eat, and they find the food very delicious and appetizing. The next morning, we see Mukoda standing in front of his tools and vegetables, contemplating the food he will cook tonight. He tells himself that even if he is going to cook in the dungeon, he should prepare enough food for 3 or 4 days. He then starts preparing the food. First, he prepares stewed ogre general meat. Second, red wild boar cabbage rolls, and the next dish is fried minced veal and bell peppers, as this dish is quick and easy to prepare. Since there are no leftover spices, Mukoda cooks the delicious food. He is now cooking ogre general meat soup, and after that, wyvern meat stew. Thus, he finishes preparing the food. His familiars get hungry and try to eat the food. Mukoda refuses and tells them that they won't eat any of this now. While Mukoda was cleaning his room, Sui comes to him and gives him a sword. When Mukoda sees it, he is shocked by its beauty. It looks very sharp. He then thanks Sui for the help, as he is no longer worried about the weapon he will use in the dungeon. Afterwards, Willem comes to him to inform him that the earth dragon has been fully processed and that he must come to the warehouse. Mukoda agrees to that and asks him to wait a little until he gets ready. Then he closes the door. Willem grabs him and apologizes, saying he cannot stay because the guildmaster does not do any work, so he was very busy. Then the old man rushes off, and Mukoda says to himself, working for that guild must be very tough. After that, Mukoda goes to the warehouse with the wolf. He speaks to the man, saying to him, I was told that the earth dragon has been processed. When they see the earth dragon's meat like this, they are very surprised. He tells them, this is what is expected from the blood of an exceptional crimson-colored dragon. I want to gaze at it forever. Then Mukoda speaks to him, so you've finished processing the earth dragon. Island informs him, I have finished processing it completely and thoroughly. These were the best 3 days in my long life. Regarding that, I would like to buy some materials for the guild. First, I want 2 vials of the earth dragon's blood. Dragon blood is used as an ingredient in elixirs and is known as a type of complete antidote. Then, I want half of the liver. It has the same properties as the blood, but its effect is said to be many times stronger. Finally, I want 1 fang. I want to sharpen this to make a dragon sword from it. Please, I want to buy all these items. Then Mukoda says, you want all this? I thought you would buy much more. Island replies, no, this amount of materials might lead to the financial collapse of the guild. After long consideration, I concluded that these 4 items would be the total. The total will be 3,800 gold pieces, but now I have brought 380 large gold coins for this deal, and I want you to agree to this. Mukoda is astonished, saying to himself, only a few parts cost all this money? How much will I earn if I sell everything? The wolf speaks to Mukoda, saying, Regardless of the vital internal organs and fangs, there is no meat here. You really don't plan on keeping it for yourself? Island reassures him that he has stored all the Earth Dragon meat for him. I said that the meat is the most valuable part in your opinion. They then enter the room. The wolf enters and is surprised when he sees all the meat he wanted, saying, a freezing room preserved with magic ice? Then Island tells him, we collect a lot of meat from dungeon spoils, so a temperature-controlled room is better than a naturally cold room. Then, we see the little slime taking the meat and giving it to Mukoda to store with him. Then Island apologizes to Mukoda, saying, actually, I would like to taste some of the Earth Dragon meat. Mukoda agrees, saying, of course, we made a promise and you succeeded in processing it. Island is happy when he learns this and wants them to go now and eat together at his house. The wolf agrees, saying, that's a good idea. We got the meat, let's eat the Earth Dragon immediately. Everyone is happy. Then they take Mukoda and rush off, because there is nothing more important than tasting the dragon meat. After that, they arrive at the forest and Mukoda begins to take out all the cooking tools. Then Aelin tells him that he also has toolbox skills. Many elves have high levels of sorcerer. I was a strong warrior who used plant and wind magic with my sword. Plant magic is a characteristic of elves. We are often skilled in pharmacology, and this book was made from a dragon. After that, Mukoda prepares the meat to start cooking. He is very happy because they were able to get this very modern oven. He puts salt on the meat and begins to peel the potatoes and carrots, then slices them. His companions help him peel the onions. He then places the cooking plate on the oven pan and fills the pan with meat and vegetables. After that, he drizzles olive oil over it, adds herbs, and then puts it in the preheated oven for roasting the meat and vegetables. Everyone waits, very eager and excited to taste this delicious meat. Mukoda continues to monitor it until it is cooked and the roasting is finished. After a few minutes, he takes it out of the oven. It looks very well cooked and delicious. Everyone is eager to taste it. Indeed, Mukoda tests it by inserting a small skewer into it and finds that the meat is indeed cooked and ready. He then slices the meat and pours some steak sauce flavored with garlic soy sauce on it because Fel loves it. Thus, the meat and the dish are ready, and the roasted dragon is ready. Everyone is happy and eager, as if they have never eaten before. Mukoda is the first to taste the meat, and he is stunned by how wonderful it is. It is very delicious, and different from veal, chicken, or any meat he had eaten before. Even the meat juices are incredibly tasty. I don't blame Fel for his persistent desire to eat this. Everyone starts eating this very delicious food, and they are happy. Fel says, I haven't had a dragon in a long time, but it's very delicious, as I recall. I have used fire magic to cook its meat before, but it can't even compare to this. This is very different and delicious. I should have hunted 3. Mukoda is happy because they liked it. After that, everyone finishes their plates and asks for another plate. He serves them more. Then Mukoda asks the dragon, Dora, doesn't eating dragon meat make you one of their relatives? Dora tells him, I am a completely different species from earth dragons, and this does not count as cannibalism unless I eat another pixie dragon. The matter becomes clear to Mukoda. Island speaks to himself, crying over the food, saying he is extremely grateful. Tsuyoshi is surprised by him, saying he is crying while eating. Island continues his meal, crying, and says, not only was I able to process a dragon as I always dreamed, but I was even able to taste its meat. Moreover, for the food to be this delicious, Tsuyoshi tells him, there is no need to be this emotional. The wolf speaks. Filling my stomach fills me with energy and vitality. Now I will be able to explore the dungeon at full power. We will enter the dungeon tomorrow. Tsuyoshi speaks to himself, saying, if we are entering the dungeon tomorrow, then I should take care of the offerings today. First, I will go to the sweets page. At that moment, the gods observe him. One of the gods comes and asks them, did you grant that fool a defensive skill? Ninlil replies, I granted him my blessing. One of the gods informs her that she is very reckless. You granted him a modest blessing. There is no guarantee that this blessing can protect that fool. He asks them, what will happen if that person from another world dies by mistake? The other god informs them, you will not be able to get anything from that other world again. Then Ninlil screams, the sweets from the other world must be protected at all costs. Kisarl then says, it would be terrible if I didn't get any beauty products. Agni says, no, my drink, this is unbelievable. The gods then say, that's why I am thinking of granting a skill to the person from the other world. He asks them, is this appropriate? They reply, yes. The scene shifts to Tsuyoshi, who is speaking to the gods, saying, excuse me, are you there? I am about to enter a dungeon tomorrow, so I will offer. The god speaks to him telepathically, saying, fool, I know this is sudden, but I will grant you a skill. Tsuyoshi replies, I don't need one. Please let me send my offerings. The god replies, previously you refused my blessing, and now you repeat it again, but that cannot happen. Well, with this, we will be able to enjoy the drink from the other world for some time. The gods are happy about that. Tsuyoshi asks them, can any of you hear me? Then Tsuyoshi goes to the guild and meets the girl he saw before at the guild in the Dragon Kingdom. She introduces herself, saying, my name is Fianna. He asks her, why are you here in this guild? She replies, the dungeon here has been very busy recently, and the Dolan Adventurers Guild requested assistance from other guilds. Tsuyoshi replies to her, I see. So, the guilds are constantly communicating with each other like this. He then speaks to himself, saying, it seems she is still interested in the wolf to the extent that she cannot control herself. She informs him, your registration has been completed now. The scene shifts to Fianna, writing a letter to her sister. She says, dearest, I have started working at the Dolan Adventurers Guild. Many people want to slay the receptionists at the guild here as it is a dungeon city, but only a few have been able to stay for a long time. Business is busy as we heard, and I don't have time to rest, but I don't want to fail the guildmaster who recommended me, so I'm doing my best. She informs her, I was able to meet the man I thought I would never see again. He was very handsome and fluffier than before. Her sister is happy for her. Thus, today's episode ends. If you liked the video, press like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. The chapter begins with Makoto and his friends entering the dungeon, where Fail tells him that the weak are always on the lower floors, and that most adventurers explore the dungeon and earn money by defeating monsters between the 10th and 15th floors. Treasure chests are most likely found on these floors, and the floors above them are of no concern. They then ride on Fail's back, who runs quickly to descend to the 10th floor immediately. A group of monsters confronts them, and Fail collides with them, passing quickly. While running, Fail steps on something like a trap, causing a spear to head towards them. Just as it was about to hit Makoto, his dragon companion immediately saves him and breaks the spear. Makoto is surprised and says, aren't dungeons naturally formed, and these traps are man-made things? Fail informs him that the dungeon is like a living creature that lures humans with monsters that drop magical stones and treasure chests, intending to kill them with born monsters and crafted traps. The human corpses are then absorbed by the dungeon as food, contributing to the dungeon's growth. The traps are like the limbs of this living thing called the dungeon. During the conversation, they see several arrows launching towards them, but Fail uses his magical arm to save himself and his friends from them. Makoto then tells him that the dungeon is very frightening. They finally reach the 10th floor. Fail tells him that this floor also does not have worthy enemies, and the boss of this floor is a venomous tarantula. They must hurry to the boss room immediately. When they arrive there, they see a group of adventurers outside the boss room. When they see Fail, they mistake him for a killer monster, but Makoto immediately apologizes to them and tells them that they are not monsters and that they came to the boss room. One of the adventurers is surprised when he learns that this is Makoto's first visit and informs him that there are many rules in the dungeons that adventurers follow. When fighting monsters, the team that attacks first has priority, and the spoils are also the property of that team. Once the battle begins, the other team is not allowed to help unless asked. The adventurer who opens a treasure chest has priority in obtaining its contents. Makoto asks them if there is another team currently inside. The adventurer informs him that there is, as there are some people who ignore the rules and steal the spoils. After several hours, Makoto and his friends are seen sitting outside the boss room, bored because they want to enter immediately, but Makoto advises them to adhere to the rules and regulations. The adventurers emerge from inside carrying the spoils and tell Makoto that they will not exceed this floor and will not go down to the next one, as they all have wives and children and will not risk themselves. Makoto and his friends then enter the room. When Makoto sees the boss monster, he is very scared. Then the dragon uses its fire energy to attack the boss and defeats it. He then collects the spoils, and Makoto takes the boss's leg, realizing that it is a powerful remedy for many diseases. They advance to the next floor and see many huge monsters. The dragon also attacks them and defeats them. The dragon then informs him that he is starting to feel hungry because he has consumed a lot of magic, and so has the slime sui. Fail tells them that there is an open room with no trace of monsters and it should be safe, and they can eat there. They enter the room and find that it is like a rest area, with many adventurers resting and eating there. Then the Iron Will mercenary group arrives and welcomes Makoto, who remembers them. This group had been helpful to Makoto, as he was able to leave the kingdom of Regissaire safely thanks to them. The leader of the group tells him that they arrived in the city the day before yesterday and started descending immediately yesterday, and asks him if he has acquired more accompanying creatures, asking, is this a baby dragon? Makoto informs him that this is a pixie dragon at its adult size and its name is Dora, and he also introduces them to Slime Sui, who is a very strong slime. He then plays with the group and seems very happy with them. Everyone then informs Makoto that they are very hungry and want to eat. Makoto tells them that he will prepare food for them and they will all eat together. The group accepts this and they are very happy and everyone prepares the food together. Then, his red-haired teammate takes out a black bread. Makoto is surprised and says to her, this bread, it looks very nice. Perhaps we should eat something that goes well with it. He takes out his heater to warm the food, while cutting the bread into small slices and adding meat, potatoes, and soup. Everyone sits down and prepares to eat after saying the name of God, Basmala, as it is the etiquette of eating to mention God's name and eat with the right hand, not the left. When they eat, they find the food to be incredibly delicious, so much so that they cry from its sweetness. They eat very quickly, saying, this is the first time we've eaten meat that melts in our mouths like this. The flavor is very rich and deep, truly highlighting the sweetness of the vegetables. The man who is crying says, I didn't expect to be able to eat Makoto's food again. It's the best in the world. Everyone is talking about how delicious his food is. They ask him what type of meat it is. He tells them it is wyvern meat. Everyone is shocked and they look like they want to vomit, but they cannot believe they ate this ingredient and that it was so luxurious and delicious. He tells them, don't worry, we have a lot of it. Fail and Sweet hunted it together. They are very strong and can do anything. As for their speed, it exceeds the speed of a rocket itself. Everyone finishes their plates and wants more because of how sweet the food is. Makoto is genuinely happy and tells them, eat as much as you want. After they eat and take a nap, the leader of the group says to Makoto, listen carefully, Muko. We intend to explore this floor a little more, so we will part ways here. Muko tells them, all right, my friends, you must be careful. Goodbye. After that, they descend to the lower floors to kill the monsters there until they reach the 16th floor. On this floor, Makoto feels that the air is different from the first 15 floors. The wolf informs him that the dungeons are like this, where sometimes the change is much greater. While they are wandering, the wolf places his foot on a stone, and suddenly an earthquake occurs in the place. Makoto and his companions are startled, and suddenly a large boulder comes rolling towards them. Makoto runs in fear to hide anywhere. The wolf asks him to calm down and not make any noise, and then uses his strength to shatter the large boulder. At that moment, Makoto understands that the traps here are more malicious than before. After that, they finally reach the 20th floor. While wandering there, Chan talks to Makoto and asks him if he is surprised by their strength, as they will continue to defeat one monster after another, and basically they are very blessed. The wolf interrupts him and tells them that he wishes to reach the depths quickly. Makoto replies that he does not want to go there. Sui calls out to him and tells him that there is something suspicious in a hole. When Makoto looks, he finds a chest. He rushes over, very excited to examine it, because treasure chests are an important part of the dungeons. He didn't realize that finding a chest here would make him so enthusiastic. Before he can open it, the wolf grabs him and tells him that he had previously informed him that the dungeons lure humans with the ornamentation of treasures. He should look at it from a distance and carefully. Makoto proceeds to appraise it and finds that it is a trapped treasure chest designed to release a poisonous gas upon opening, and if he inhales the poisonous gas, he will die. Makoto collapses onto the ground and tells them that the dungeon is truly cruel. Field tells him that it was a good choice as they are protected by their blessings, but Makoto only has secondary blessings. Field tells him he will open the chest instead. Then the usual voice Ninreal comes to Makoto's ear and tells him, regarding the secondary blessing that I cast upon you, because we goddesses have compounded our blessings onto you, it has become as strong as a normal blessing. It is rare for 3 goddesses to bless the same person. This means you will not get sick, and the poisonous gas will not affect you. Therefore, enjoy the dungeon well. Makoto stands up and tells Fail that the intertwined secondary blessings have accumulated to become a single normal blessing. Fail tells him, if Ninreal says so, then it must be true. Makoto heads towards the chest, and when he opens it, a huge amount of poisonous gas comes out, but nothing happens to them. When he looks inside the chest, they then arrive at another massive treasure chest. Makoto is very excited to open it. As he approaches the chest, a screen appears telling him that the chest is a monster disguised as a treasure chest. Makoto becomes angry. Fail tells him that the fake chest attacks the moment you try to open it, but given its size, it might be hiding something good. At that moment, Makoto takes out his very strong sword, holds it, and tries to open the chest. Suddenly, a very ugly monster pops out of the chest, which terrifies Makoto. He attacks with his sword in random strikes and finds that he has miraculously defeated the monster. He is very happy afterward. After a few seconds, the chest appears again. He opens it and finds jewels inside. However, his friends do not want any of these things. They only want to enjoy themselves and eat. After that, they descend to a new area and find a large space, a vast forest. They are astonished by this place. Fail asks Makoto to ride on his back, since there is something relatively strong ahead. They quickly rush into this large forest until they reach a strong monster of rank B named the Giant Killer Mantis. But for Fail, it is very weak. He shocks it in 1 second and defeats them all. Makoto is terrified by this power. Dora and Sui become upset because Fail was the one who defeated them alone. They wanted to participate. Fail tells them, that is not important. We should choose something strong. Makoto finds them getting annoyed with each other. He tells them, let's distribute the roles. Each of you has a turn. They accept this. They continue walking in the forest, and a large black bear appears before them. Dora defeats it. The wolf speaks, saying, these butterflies emit a paralyzing poisonous dust and suck the body fluids out of their prey while they are alive. Tsuyoshi, Makoto, replies, they are extremely evil. Sui, be sure to attack them from a distance. Sui attacks the butterflies and succeeds in defeating them. She is happy that she has defeated them. Tsuyoshi tells her, that's right, amazing. The wolf then tells him, we are getting closer to the presence I feel. It's near. Tsuyoshi replies, hold on a moment, wolf. That strong presence is most likely the boss. The wolf is surprised. Tsuyoshi tells him, let's have a meal before we fight it, just in case. I want to use the online grocery service to raise my stats with some ingredients from my world. The wolf replies, we won't lose in our current state, but eating ingredients from your world is a good idea. They sit down to eat. Tsuyoshi asks him, what do you think of the steak we had before? The wolf replies, that's perfect. Tsuyoshi informs them that they will eat some Japanese Wagyu beef slices this time. It would be bland if we only had that. We have roast pork marinated with lemon salt and green onion salt flavor, and we'll add some coarsely ground sausage. They even have roast duck with black pepper, yakisoba thigh, and liver too. This should be a lot of meat. Then, it would be wise to order some sandwiches for myself. Tsuyoshi serves the food to them and they eat it. Tsuyoshi finds the lemon salted meat and the green onion salted meat to be refreshing and appetizing, and they are both crispy and juicy. They ask him for more food. The wolf says, the food from your world is truly delicious. Chan says, this is the first time I've had some, but it was very delicious. Sui says, it was very delicious, my lord. Tsuyoshi is happy to hear this. He then asks them, what about our stats, starting with the wolf? The wolf informs him that his stats have increased significantly. Tsuyoshi asks Chan, what about you? Chan replies, woe is me. Maybe I overdid it a bit. He asks Sui, then says, well, we are about to fight the boss, so I'm sure things are fine. Finally, I'll take a look at myself. The wolf says, it's useless if your stats don't increase as they should. Chan tells him, you must compose yourself. Sui says, my lord, you can do it. Thus ends today's episode. If you liked the video, press like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all our new content. Our episode begins with Makod and his lovely team. The wolf asks if the area they are walking on is the boss's territory. Makoto tells him that he feels his presence and that he is very close. Here we learn that the Fenrir can smell from long distances. He told him, "Yes, indeed, I feel his presence is near through my sense of smell." The dragon, very excited, said, "I can't wait, I want to see him." At that moment, they are surprised by a very large cobra called Vasuki, which is an S-rank monster. The Fenrir wolf says that he has only fought Vasuki 3 times in his life. At that moment, the cobra spits a deadly poison, a lethal venom that cannot be absorbed through the respiratory system alone, but also through the skin. Whoever absorbs it will die within 5 seconds if it is inhaled. It also has a devastating effect. Makoto is shocked and tells him to do something or they will all die. The other tells him that he is walking with the blessing of his parents' prayers, so as long as he avoids its bites and constrictions, there will be no problem for him. Makoto runs and hides behind a tree and lets them fight. They pounce on it, and the fence wearer uses a lightning strike, while Sui hits it in the stomach. As for the dragon, it pounces on it as if it were a nuclear missile, entering its stomach and exiting from the other side. The cobra falls dead, and everyone rejoices. On the other hand, we see the wolf, and he says, "If you channel your magical power into this, we will not be able to enter the next floor. But if we don't all touch it at the same time, someone might be left behind." At that moment, they think of a beautiful idea. Sui and the dragon wrap around it so that they are like one person. While the teleportation circle is activated, they disappear in a flash into the dungeon. The place was very huge. At that moment, they encounter 2 giant monsters. No, 3. The dragon attacks them and eliminates them in a flash. They continue walking, having walked a very long distance. The corridors are not huge, but they are long, as if they were the tunnels of Gaza, the mystery of which no one has been able to explain until now. Now, everyone is hungry and wants to eat. They stop in that area. Perhaps it is a safe area, as there are no monsters nearby and they have decided to eat in this place. They spread out and prepare everything. Nikod had prepared this beforehand because he knows that the journey is long. He just heats the food and then gives it to them. It looks very delicious. I'm hungry, my friends, while watching the action. Are you hungry too? Write to us in the comments. Everyone eats voraciously. The taste is good. The sauce is wonderful, and the soup is also irresistible. They eat and want another plate. As for Doro the dragon, he is completely full and his stomach is full. He can't breathe from eating so much. Makoto puts the things in his magic bag and says to Fel, "I'm a little tired. We should take a nap here." But he doesn't finish his sentence, and is surprised by something in front of him. Yes, guys, these people are carrying a wounded man, seriously injured. This man's name is Damien. They lay him on the ground and want to treat him and stop the bleeding, but unfortunately, they have run out of healing potions. One of them calls out to Makakota, You, the person wearing the green robe. Do you have a healing potion? Give us one and we will pay you for it immediately." Makakota quickly takes it out and gives it to them. When the leader, perhaps he is the leader of their party, pours it, he is surprised that the matter is strange. That potion is a concentrated potion, an original potion of a special grade. They are very amazed and say, "It's impossible for an ordinary person to possess something like this. How could he do that?" They all look at him, and he tells them, "Don't worry, I know this and I imported it from abroad." The man, thank God, is still unconscious, but his wound has completely healed. They were very worried about him. Here, the leader stands up and tells him, "We are a party of A-rank adventurers called Tempest. Your potion has saved us. Thank you." After that, this man comes to Makoto and tells him that they are a party of A-rank adventurers called Tempest. Then, he thanks him very much because his potion has saved them. Makad replies that there is no need to thank him. He just happened to have the potion with him. The man asks him if 15 gold pieces are enough for them. Makad is shocked by the price. Then he tells him that he knows that the price of a regular, high-grade potion is 10 gold pieces. The leader replies that it is more effective than a regular potion and they are also in a dungeon, so he should pay at least that much. When Makoto hears this, he adds these bottles as well. Since they are low-grade potions, they don't work very well. The leader is amazed by his help and quickly takes them from him. Makoto asks him to tell him what happened. The leader tells him that there were 3 Spriggans in the boss room on this floor. Makoto directs his words to the wolf and asks him if Spriggans are really dangerous or not. The wolf replies that they are larger than minotaurs. The leader continues his words and tells them that this is the 2nd time he has entered this dungeon. And the first time they were here, they only confirmed the presence of 1 Spriggian. They returned to the surface after that to draw up a strategy, but they were unable to do so. Makoto thinks for a moment and finds that there are 3 Spriggans. After that, the leader continues his words by saying that although the dungeons change daily, they were taken by surprise. Then he tells him that he is sure that he will be fine against them. It seems that the rumors he heard about an adventurer who retired with a Fenrir as a familiar are true. Makoto gets a little nervous. The leader calms them down and then tells him that they are not asking for details. In any case, he will return to the surface after sleeping for a while. They agree to all sleep and continue their descent tomorrow. After that, Makad prepares food for them. Then they treated their wounds and restored their mana. The next day, Makad goes with his companions to the boss room and finds these 3 monsters there. The wolf was not worried about them at all. Then he approaches them with all confidence and kills them with a single blow. After that, Makad enters the room and finds this bag. He knows through the skills list that it is a large magic bag, big enough to hold 20 burlap sacks full of tools, and that time passes for the tools placed inside just as it does in reality. Makoto takes it to put it in the toolbox to keep it. Then he collects the crystals that fell from the monsters. The wolf tells him that the next few floors are full of huge monsters and they must deal with them quickly. Makoto tells him that he will try to fight next time, as he has the perfect defense skill after all. Suddenly, he finds this large group of monsters standing in front of him, and he screams at the top of his lungs. We see Makoto is very scared and asks for help because of the attack of these monsters on him, but the dragon helps him and throws fire on them. On every floor, they face monsters and are able to get rid of them all on all floors. Then, they reach the 29th floor, which is the penultimate floor. They find themselves in the desert and are all amazed by that. Makoto speaks to them saying, "We have reached the desert after crossing the swamps." The dragon and the slime are amazed by the shape of the desert and the presence of a lot of sand. The wolf told them, "This dungeon is designed in a very exciting way, but don't dwell on the details. Let's move forward." They go and enjoy themselves, but they are very exhausted from the intense heat and look for a place with shade to go to. After that, the wolf tells them that he will create a barrier to stop them, but he cannot because it stops the sun's rays. "I can alleviate a lot of the heat, but even I can't maintain this barrier forever. I can at most for a few days. These types of open floors are very wide. We must cross before the barrier depletes my mana." Then, Makoto speaks to him. "We should do our best to deal with the heat in a way that does not depend on magic." Makoto searches. Then we see him wearing new glasses and clothes with this package, and in it is a lot of water, saying to them, "We must constantly hydrate ourselves." They drink a lot and a lot. Finally, Sui drinks and is very happy. Then Mako tells him that he has returned to his normal self. After we have hydrated ourselves, we should eat some food. Mako orders them a large-sized ice cream. They ate from it, and the wolf eats it and likes it very much, saying, "It is sweet and rich. Unlike regular ice, it is cold and very delicious." Then Makoto talks to himself, saying, "It is very luxurious to eat ice cream in the middle of the desert, but the heat is still intense." Then they continue on their way, each with an ice cream in his mouth. Makoto tells them that there is a lot of sand even after looking far, and we do not know in which direction we will go. The wolf tells him that he will follow the trail of the boss's presence. The drastic changes in temperature between day and night in this type of environment will be difficult. Makoto is amazed, saying, "Will night fall inside a dungeon like this? We should cover as much distance as possible before sunset." He hurries and encounters many scorpions and monsters, but they get rid of them easily. After a while, night falls and the cold is very harsh. Fel uses his barrier to relieve them from the terrible cold. Then, Makoto orders them some things from the store to relieve them from the feeling of cold, and orders them some delicious food to make them warm from the inside. They all rejoice as they wanted to eat some food. Makoto begins to prepare this food. He brings this pot and first adds some soy sauce, marin salt, broth granules, mushrooms, and rockbird meat cut into fine pieces. Then he puts a little water on them and begins to boil them together. After it starts to boil, we will add some udon and cover it again, and it begins to cook, little by little. After that, he adds some fish cake, green onions, and pre-made shrimp tempura. After that, he cracks an egg on these ingredients and lets it boil more, then covers it. Dora is very cold and wants to eat this food quickly to make him warm. After that, the food is ready, and everyone starts eating and finds it very delicious and very tender. It really warms them up from the cold of this harsh weather. Everyone finishes their plates and asks for another plate. Fail tells them that we are finally close to the boss of this floor, and we must save our energy as much as possible to be able to defeat him. We should sleep a little before we get colder. Then they take out the blankets and sleep on them. The next morning, they are fighting this sandy boss monster, and they defeat him in an instant. Finally, they reach the end of this floor. After that, they move to another floor, and this huge monster is waiting for them. A monster called Behemoth. This is the boss of the last floor. They all prepare to fight this big monster, and they take turns hitting it with each other. Sui and Dora initiate the attack, and none of them could affect it or even scratch it. Fel tells them that this monster is resistant to physical attacks and magical attacks, but this does not mean that they are completely ineffective. All you have to do is attack with something strong enough to break its defense. At this moment, this monster attacks them, and Fel dodges it. It hits the wall. He asks them to attack it with all their might. Indeed, everyone begins to attack it with all their might, but the monster seems to be completely fine. At the heart of the final battle, facing the legendary Behemoth whose defenses seemed impenetrable, the wise wolf L announces the plan for victory. The damage will undoubtedly stack up. Sweet Dora-chan, even if it seems like your magic is being deflected, don't you dare slow down your attacks. Following their leader command, the small duo unleashes a storm of magical assaults. Yeah, let's keep this up. Dora-chan shouts with excitement, but the raging beast retaliates with a sweeping fire attack. It's then that Fel's strategic genius shines through, as he spots the enemy's weak point. The attacks are getting through better on the parts covered in Sui's acid. Sui, flood the area with it. The battle transforms into a symphony of power and tactics as Sui's acid melts the monster's armor, while Dorican rains down a barrage of spells. At the decisive moment, Fel orders everyone back, unleashing his ultimate finishing blow that shakes the very foundations of the dungeon and brings the Behemoth crashing down. We beat it! We did it! Mako yells, overjoyed. We actually took down a Behemoth! As they celebrate, a legendary magic sword appears as their reward. A blade so heavy Mako can barely lift it. Well, this thing would cause a huge uproar if people knew about it. We better put it away for now. But after all that fighting, there's only one thing on Fel's mind. Now that we've defeated the dungeon boss, I'm starving. Makoto looks at him stunned. What? I get it, but let's go home first. But Fel, Dora-chan, and Sui are all insistent on celebrating right then and there. And so, the greatest feast of all time begins. With a smile, Makoto declares to celebrate clearing the dungeon. We're having everyone's favorite, a fried food party. The table is soon gleaming with plates of crispy fried rockbird chicken, served with Korean yangyo, honey mustard, and tangy tartar sauces. This red sauce isn't as spicy as it looks, Fel remarks. Dorashen adds, and the yellow one is sweet and spicy at the same time. The deep-fried kushikatsu skewers loaded with different meats and vegetables amazed everyone with their varied textures and incredible flavors. But the feast isn't over yet. Makakota prepares the knockout dish, American-style corn dogs. Fluffy golden batter is fried to perfection, encasing a juicy, savory sausage. Everyone devours them with delight, declaring the combination absolutely irresistible. As his companions enjoy the unforgettable meal, Makoto whispers to himself, "Today is special. I can't spoil you guys like this all the time." Oh well, I guess it's okay just this once. And so, our incredible adventure for the day comes to a close. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you never miss what's coming. The episode begins today with this great explosion. Everyone is surprised and asks what is happening, but they are surprised by the presence of Makoto along with Fel and the rest of the group. They ask them, "Who are you and where exactly did you come from?" Fel informs them that they came from the lower level of the dungeon, Demas. Yes, the Demas has been conquered by us. Everyone is surprised again, and they gather around him, saying, What? What? Tell us, what did you find down there? What was the nature of the monsters? How was it? Were there any spoils? At that moment, a man from the guild rushes over quickly and welcomes them, saying, "I knew you could do it, hero. But wait, we must hurry to the Adventurers Guild first. The exploration of the Demas is not complete until you hand in your report. Come on, hero." Finally, the scene shifts to the guild, and they are sitting in front of the guildmaster and that clumsy elven man. He says, "As expected of Makoto and Dora, it's amazing that you completed the Demas on your first attempt, and the same goes for Fel and Sue." Makoto says, "You must want to inspect the quality of the tools we found in the Demas?" The wolf informs him that he is immediately hungry and wants to eat meat. Makoto tells him to wait a little, as he plans to sell the tools first, and then he will cook for them, as there are many spoils, monsters, treasures, and jewels. Then Makoto opens his magical store and takes out a very rare jewelry box. The guildmaster is impressed by it, and Makoto realizes this, so he decides not to take out the magic sword for them. The guildmaster then asks him to give him a report on every floor of the Demas, but his assistant advises him to let Makoto and his team rest, because they are tired. Then we see Makoto and his team outside, and we see Makoto drinking milk and marveling at its delicious taste, and the whole team is enjoying their food. Then, Makoto asks the wolf to take a bath, but the wolf refuses, telling him he is not interested in bathing but only in food. Makoto gets angry and tells him that he must bathe every now and then so he doesn't stink. The wolf gets very angry at him, but suddenly, a strange screaming sound is heard, and Makoto thinks he is changing the subject, but the dragon also tells him he heard it. Suddenly, we see two small children running in the forest, escaping from that giant ogre. The girl, Eris, falls to the ground. As the monster was about to pounce on her, Makoto and his team arrive and save her, killing the monster. But when the children see the wolf, they become very afraid. Makoto reassures them, telling them he won't hurt them. The two children remain very quiet. Makoto sits next to them and asks them, "Where are you from?" The boy tells him that his name is Daryl, and this little girl is his sister, named Eris, and they are from Dolan. Makoto is surprised because that town is far, taking about 3 hours to walk from there. He asks them if there was any adult with them. The child, Daryl, tells him that he will tell him everything if he gives him that dead giant monster. Makoto asks him, "Can you carry it?" and tells them that he will help them carry the monster if he tells him the details. The boy tells him that they live with their mother in the city of Dolan, and his father was an adventurer who entered the Demas with his friends, but never returned. Since then, they cooperated and sought to provide for their daily sustenance with their mother. But their mother became ill and collapsed. The priest in the temple examined her and used healing magic, and she felt a slight improvement for some time, but after that she became ill again. He informed them that he could not treat her from that dangerous disease, and that there is a high-ranking priest in the royal capital who might be able to help her. But it will cost a lot of money to summon a priest from the royal capital. The only option they have is to go out and search for medicinal herbs in the hope of curing her. But if they take that monster and sell it, they will get a lot of money, which will enable them to get a priest immediately. However, Makoto talks to himself and says that monster is a common animal, and one of them is not worth much money. He begins to think of anything to help these two children. Then he realizes that the children are very hungry. The wolf and the dragon tell him that they are also hungry. Makoto tells them that he will bring them food and they will eat together. Then Makoto starts cooking, where he cuts the onion into rings and cooks both sides until they turn brown. In this way, they will be sweeter and easier for the children to chew. Then he cooks the skin of the mythical snake meat from the bottom, and then he cooks the other side with the oil rubbed from the skin and removes the excess oil. Then he puts teriyaki sauce on them and coats the meat with the sauce until it is hot and shiny. He also makes fried eggs and cuts the lettuce and cheddar cheese along with the black bread and adds the onion, tomatoes, and fried eggs. Then he finishes preparing a fantastic burger sandwich. When the two children see it, they are amazed by its beauty and delicious taste. He also prepares sandwiches for his team, and everyone eats and enjoys. After finishing the meal, the two children approach Makoto and say, "Thank you, uncle." Makoto is shocked and says, "Am I considered an uncle? They are thanking me with such innocent eyes. But all I can think about is that I'm old enough to be called uncle." The wolf mocks him and says, "Yes, you have grown old, and you are considered an uncle." Makoto gets angry and tells him to shut up. Then the children fall asleep, and Makoto covers them and expresses his sadness over their situation, and that he wants to help them as much as possible, but he doesn't even know the nature of the disease their mother is suffering from. They said she is so ill that she cannot get out of bed. He realizes that he has high-grade potions that Sui made, which might cure them. The wolf tells him that potions won't cure diseases. The required medicine to cure diseases is clear, which is the elixir, and it is said that the elixir cures all diseases. Makoto tells him in surprise that it's impossible for such a medicine to exist. Then, suddenly, he remembers the guildmaster telling him that the blood and liver of the earth dragon are used as an ingredient in the elixir, and he realizes that the elixir actually exists. And then he gets the blood and liver of the dragon. It's not like any dragon, it's the earth dragon, and asks Sui if he can make a healing potion for those diseases using these two ingredients. Sui began to think and told him, "I will try to do anything, Makoto." He started taking the mixture and mixing it well within his body, while Makoto prepared the bottles into which he would pour the mixture. In the meantime, Makoto had to prepare something for him to eat. He had to prepare something nutritious, easy to eat, and also delicious for those children and his adult companions. He started thinking, then said, "We will use bacon, onions, carrots, and broccoli as ingredients. We cut it all into pieces that are easy to eat. We fry the ingredients until they are completely cooked. After that, we add a lot of water and cumin. We boil it slowly until the vegetables become tender. We add fresh chicken broth. We add the broccoli at the end. It's delicious enough as it is, but we must also add some soy milk. We should lower the heat so it doesn't spill out of the pot." After about 10 minutes, the beautiful dish was complete. The soup itself is rich in nutrients and umami from the ingredients boiled in it, with plenty of protein, vitamin B12, vitamin D, iron, magnesium, calcium, and others. The children can also chew many of the warm pieces. At that moment, Sui arrives, having prepared 3 bottles that quickly. Makoto leaves the food and rushes over. He sees that the liquid's color is a purplish red, more than a regular potion. He checks it and finds that it is Sui's special elixir, which cures all diseases. Makoto is shocked that he was actually able to make it. Then he pats him on the head and says, "Bravo! You are truly amazing, Sui. You are great. You are a hero." At that, Fel gets jealous and says to him, "You idiot. How long do you intend to make me babysit? The sun is setting and you haven't brought us food yet." He said, "I am very sorry. I will come to you now." He gathers them quickly and says, "We must return to Dolan." They ride Fel, who is a very fast means of transport, and he sets off quickly, but a little slowly so that the children do not fall or get scared. But he speeds up very quickly and covers a distance of about 10 kilometers in just 5 minutes. In the evening, they arrive at the house, and the children play and are very happy. At that moment, Makoto pulls out the orc to give to Daryl. The child informs him, "We must exchange it for money at the Adventurers Guild so the doctor can treat my mother." Makoto tells them not to worry about their mother. "I made the potion that, by the grace of God, will cause your mother to be healed." The children are surprised and rush to him, saying, "Are you truly serious about what you're saying?" He informs them that healing is in God's hands, but we are only a means. But God willing, she will recover. In return, I cannot give it to you for free. I am an adventurer and a merchant at the same time. This medicine is a product I sell, so this transaction must be a business deal between you and me. Do you understand that? The children are sad and ask him, "How much does it cost, uncle?" He tells them that he will take the orc he brought for them in exchange for the potion. The children are very happy with this, and he gives them a bowl full of food for free. The children thank Uncle Makoto, as they call him. The boy says, "My father was an adventurer, but when I grow up, I will become a great merchant. I will use my toolkit and become a merchant in this city. One day I will own my own store and make excellent business deals. Just like you, uncle, for sure." Makoto is very pleased and pats them on the head, hoping they will do their best. Then, the children bid farewell to him and everyone, and they leave for their mother, very happy. Makoto is also very happy with this act of kindness, because they are good children. Makoto notices that their levels have increased. He first looks at Fel and sees that his level is now 921. He has advanced 10 levels since the last time. As for Dora, he is now at level 160. I was at level 128 or 129 last time, and this is very impressive. As for Sui, Makoto feels that he has developed greatly. Makoto is very astonished to find that he has reached level 88. His level has multiplied 4-fold. Thus, Sui's development speed is immense. Everyone is happy that their powers have evolved. Then Makoto proceeds to check his own strength, feeling very discouraged, but he hopes that his strength has increased. As he checks his stats, he sees a unique skill called Online Supermarket, which wasn't there before. He clicks on it, and it glows brightly. He finds 2 types of food in it, sweets and burger. It asks him to choose one of them. Belle comes to watch, and Dora and Sui also arrive, looking at the sweets and the burger. In the end, they choose sweets. A large box full of sweets arrives. Makoto opens it, and everyone is amazed by these delicious sweets of all kinds, with cream and chocolate. Makoto cuts them into pieces and puts a piece of chocolate, a piece of cream, and a piece of fruit on each of their plates so everyone can taste the 3 varieties. Everyone begins to eat, and they are very happy because the sweets are delicious. Then, he serves them jelly and fluffy cake with soft cream. Makoto tastes it first and finds it very delicious. He also drinks the black coffee. Dora and Sui want a lot of the jiggly jelly. Makoto then realizes he forgot something very important, to give the gods a little of the sweets, and they are very annoyed by that. On the other side, we see the children giving the medicine to their mother. She feels much better, but she wants some food because she is very hungry. They offer her the food and inform her that we got this after making an excellent business deal today. The mother starts eating and finds the food very delicious. The boy says to himself, "Uncle Makoto's medicine is truly amazing. He gave it to us secretly as an exception, and I won't tell anyone about it, for the uncle's sake. I will also work hard and repay Uncle one day." Thus ends our episode today. Wait for us in future episodes of this wonderful anime. We ask you to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell to receive all that is new. On the after scream will in real life begin once Marcel and Noah leave. The guild official tells him, make sure you cut at a bit of an angle so you can remove the vital organs better. We also see boiling water, and the official warns them not to let the magical stone output get too high for the hot water. It could cause a huge explosion. But they also can't let the water cool down. They have to maintain a consistent temperature. The official continues. I know you're all in high spirits now that the Demas invasion is over, and we're about to get busier, but we cannot let the quality of our material processing drop. The guild official, Ireland, was so hyped up that he completely forgot about Makoto, who looked pretty sad in that moment. Suddenly the super angry guildmaster storms in. He approaches Ireland and yells, I've been looking everywhere for you. You're just loafing around here? You didn't finish your duties or your job. You were supposed to submit a report on the tools we received. He then grabs Ireland by his clothes and drags him back to the guild, but not before apologizing profusely to Makoto for the long wait. Inside the guild, the master talks to Makoto. You've done a huge favor for our guild. It's thriving better than ever. Now, let's discuss the items you gave us a few days ago. The jewelry box that dropped from the imitator is valuable, but there's a problem. Please open the bag. Makoto opens it nervously, and friends, it's filled with tons of jewelry. Yes, highly sought-after, very expensive gems. The master explains, if we hadn't opened the bag, we couldn't have even assessed this stuff. We wouldn't have paid you for it at all. But honestly, we can't pay you for this entire quantity. It's just too expensive. You should go to the Merchants Guild and sell the rest there. Makoto remembers previous incidents, and the guildmaster emphasizes that Makoto needs to go there immediately to avoid being cheated or scammed, especially since he can't properly appraise the goods himself. However, Island warns him, if you become a target for those merchants, they will tear you apart before you even realize it. Makoto gets scared, but the guildmaster reassures him. Don't worry, my dear, I will accompany you. Makoto asks, how? I know you're busy. The master replies, it's fine, I'll go with you. You're a very respected man. But then the deputy, Oglo, whom we later find out is the deputy but acts like the boss, jumps in. Addressing the master, Ireland, he says that he needs to perform his duties correctly at the Merchants Guild. Don't even think you have a chance of going home tonight, or I will sell the tool you love, the one you're always playing with all day long. Wait, I won't just sell it. I'll smash it over your head. Ireland cries out, no! Do anything else, just leave that alone. Makoto is stunned and realizes, wow, I thought Oglo was the guildmaster, not Ireland, because Oglo clearly has the stronger personality and is totally dominating him. Deputy Oglo then tells Ireland to meet him in 2 hours. The scene immediately shifts to the market. They rush out to shop and grab everything they need in that 2-hour window. They approach a vendor, but Ireland gets scared, probably because the vendor looks like a monster. Makoto apologizes, assuring the vendor that they mean no harm. Makoto starts asking his companions how many meatballs, coughed, they want. After calculating, he announces, 76. The vendor is shocked. 76? That much? Are you trying to eat the entire country? Then the vendor offers a bulk deal, 5 silver and 1 copper coin for the massive order. Makoto tells him not to worry about the change, though he internally notes that 6 silver is a pretty fair price, especially since the wolf and the others are causing a scene and blocking the stall. The vendor thanks them, hands over the prepared skewers, and asks them to wait while he grills the rest. Makoto gives the food to the wolf and the others. As they eat, they realize it's not up to Makoto's cooking standards and is only seasoned with salt, but it's acceptable. When the vendor hands over the rest of the grilled meat, Makoto decides to try a piece. He finds it a little tough, but a wonderful aroma wafts from it, a smell only achievable with charcoal grilling. He's confident that orc meat, bloodhorn bull, and wyvern would be absolutely delicious on a charcoal grill. He thinks to himself that it would be even tastier if he used the spices he can buy from his online supermarket. In that moment, Makoto wishes he could throw a barbecue party, but he doesn't own a grill. He searches online store, but they don't sell anything like it. He considers asking Sui to make one, but decides against it because Sui would need to see a real one first. After the wolf and the others finish, they tell Makoto it was very tasty and perfectly fine to eat every once in a while. Next, the scene shifts to the Merchants Guild. Makoto meets Adriano, the Merchants Guild master, who welcomes them and agrees to let Makoto's creatures accompany them into the room. Inside, they meet the gemstone appraiser, Ruslan. Ruslan mentions it's been a long time since he's handled Demas gemstones, so he needs to be extremely careful with his valuation. The deputy guildmaster opens the bag to reveal the jewels. Ruslan inspects the first batch, noting they are small, have vibrant colors, high clarity, and are generally excellent quality. They then open a second bag, and Ruslan is stunned. These stones are imperial topaz. He hasn't seen that dazzling golden color in decades. Adriano is also shocked, saying this rare gem is known only through rumors and to those who are well informed. Golden gemstones are said to bring good luck, and these will be highly sought after in the markets. Adriano speaks up, confirming that every single gem is top grade. He offers to buy all the listed gemstones for a total price of 7,460 gold pieces. Makoto is shocked, knowing the stones are worth a fortune. Adriano asks if Makoto accepts the price. The deputy guildmaster, Oglo, immediately cuts him off. Oglo states that, as the deputy guildmaster, he has some knowledge of this field. Taking the Imperial Topaz as an example, he notes that due to its rarity, it is also known as the Jewel of the Spectrum, and is intensely desired by enthusiasts. He then points out that the Demas diamonds are large and uniformly sized, yet their valuation is extremely low. The current price isn't even worthy of discussion. Oglo warns that if they plan to treat an adventurer with such disrespect, the Adventurers Guild will be forced to reconsider all future dealings with the Merchants Guild. Adriano is stunned and quickly asks Oglo for permission to correct his offer. Adrino addresses them. Please allow me to correct the purchase price we discussed. We are willing to buy them for 9,480 gold pieces. What do you think of that? Oglo reads the paper and confirms it will suffice. Makoto is extremely impressed, thinking to himself, that's fantastic. The scene then shifts to the palace, or the guild's main hall, though the translation mentioned palace. Makoto thanks them. It looks like the business deal went well. You really saved me in there. The guildmaster, Ireland, replies, that was expected. They offered an artificially low price, fully aware of the gemstone's true value. It was very dangerous and I'm happy to be of service, the familiar says. I'm sure we could have gotten double that amount if I had been at the negotiation table. Makoto is then asked if he has his guild card. The master takes it and gives him a new card, promoting him to rank A. Since you invaded Demos Duran, we can't possibly leave you at rank C, the guildmaster continues. Now that you are a rank A adventurer, you can take on direct missions from the kingdom. You shouldn't be so surprised. Makoto is astonished. It's still too soon for me to become rank A, the deputy guildmaster Oglo adds. As a rank A adventurer, you will receive 10 free meal tickets for the guild restaurant and other benefits like hotel discounts. There will be no restrictions on the missions you can accept. You can take on any type of request. The wolf cheers. Any kind of request? You should become that rank A thing, the deputy guildmaster tells Makoto. We have high hopes for your future as an adventurer. Makoto is pleased, and they head home. Makoto prepares dinner, making something everyone loves, meat. They are all thrilled. As he cooks, Makoto muses, the meat grinder I bought from the online store almost broke down, so I asked Sui to make me a new one. It was successful. I've prepared a lot of ground meat, so we're having meatloaf for dinner. Chan is impressed and immediately wants to eat it, offering to help Makoto. Makoto explains the process. First, soften the breadcrumbs in milk. We'll mince the onion, then add some butter to the pan and fry the onion. When the onion becomes translucent, add the mixed vegetables and continue frying. He mixes the ground meat, the milk-softened breadcrumbs, the fried vegetables, and then adds scrambled eggs, salt, and nutmeg to a bowl. Now, we knead it all together until it gets sticky. Next, he prepares the meatloaf base. He covers the bottom of a pan with bacon, fills it with the meatloaf mixture, and presses it down firmly to remove any air pockets. He places half a boiled egg in the center and puts more meatloaf mixture on top, sealing any air pockets, before putting it in the oven. Now, all we have to do is wait until it's completely browned. After taking the meatloaf out of the oven, Makoto announces that all that's left is the sauce. He adds the meat juices from the roasting pan to a regular pan, then adds butter, ketchup, chuno sauce, and red wine. He simmers it slowly until the sauce is ready. He cuts the meatloaf into thick slices and finishes by pouring the sauce over it. They are all amazed by the look of the food, and the wolf happily exclaims, "That looks so delicious!" Tsuyoshi tells them, "Start eating now." The wolf exclaims, "This sauce coating the egg and the meat is amazing. It would be even more wonderful without the vegetables, though." Tsuyoshi asks, "How much do you love meat?" John replies, "The meat juices keep flowing the more I chew. It's incredibly delicious." Sui declares that he loves egg. Meat and egg make Sui very happy. Tsuyoshi thinks to himself, "I haven't made this in a while, but everyone seems to be eating it with immense joy, so it must be really good. I should try some too." He takes a bite. This is delicious. The butter and red wine truly make for a rich sauce, and it blends perfectly with the meatloaf. They all request another plate, and Tsuyoshi readily agrees. Later, as they head home, Tsuyoshi thinks to himself, "I really want to thank Oglo with some gifts. I heard Oglo has a wife and children, so I'm sure he'd be delighted if I brought several sweets that his family would enjoy." He brings out a large box and says, "This should be enough." He selects some sweets and tastes one. "Yes, it's delicious. I'm sure Oglo will be happy with this." A 1% appraisal increase for 2 minutes effect? The other snacks should have similar effects, so these items must be safe. The scene cuts to Ninlil and some of her friends observing Tsuyoshi. Ninlil complains, "That wretched man from another world. Not only did he eat delicious-looking sweets like ice cream and Demas without offering us tribute, but now he's got chocolate too. Cakes, sweets? I can't believe you're making me wait this long. I won't let this go unpunished," Chishar suggests. It doesn't look like the chocolate increases the number of items being sold, though. Rusalka thinks, "The goods are more luxurious than before." Agni informs them, "I heard that's a famous store from his world." A male voice, a familiar, suggests, "Doesn't that mean there should be famous breweries there too?" Another one adds, "It looks like we need to research his world more." The scene transitions back to Tsuyoshi thanking Oglo. "I wanted to thank you for helping me at the Merchants Guild yesterday. These are some sweets I'd like you to accept." Oglo asks, "Baked sweets from this girl here?" Tsuyoshi replies, "Yes, these. They are a symbol of sorts." Ulo asks, "Is she a great princess from your country, Makoto?" Tsuyoshi thinks, he's misunderstanding, but I don't think I can really explain. Well, whatever. He answers, "Yes, something like that." Oglo says, "Just as I suspected. Are you sure you want to give away such valuable sweets?" Tsuyoshi replies, "Of course. Please, share them with your family." Oglo thanks him. "I'm sure my wife and children will be delighted." Oglo returns home, where his children welcome him. "I brought some gifts," he tells them. His wife comments, "These look like delicious sweets." Oglo says, "I received them from a customer at our guild." The children are amazed. Oglo tells his children, "This little girl is a great princess." They are astonished. His daughter exclaims, "I want to be a princess too." His wife asks, "Is it appropriate to accept rare sweets like these?" Oglo assures her, "He's an adventurer who helped us a lot. He's a man of great character and wanted us to enjoy these as a family." His wife concludes, "He must be a great man." The children ask, "Mommy, can we eat them?" She replies, It's too late today, let's eat them together tomorrow. The boy says, okay Milan, let's sleep quickly so it becomes tomorrow. They rush off, saying, good night. Oglo smiles and says, Mikhail and Milan are good kids. His wife agrees, indeed. And with that, today's episode ends. If you liked the video, hit like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. The episode begins with Mukoto and his wolf friend, and the wolf asks him what they will have for lunch. Mukoto tells him, calm down man, we just finished breakfast. Wait a little until it's lunchtime and we'll see what we'll eat. I need to take a break first. Then the angry dragon emerges and says to him, What? Does that mean we won't eat until you take a break? This is tyranny. And Sui also comes out and says the same thing to them. All right, I will cook what you want, but I just want to relax for a little while. Grilled meat on charcoal and some vegetables. I will prepare them for you today. We could also prepare yakisoba, but the problem is we don't have a grill. I wonder if I could ask a blacksmith to make one specifically for me. So he goes to a blacksmith, but the blacksmith chases him away angrily, saying, get out of here, you idiot. Our workshop is not dedicated to making something like that. Mukoto screams and runs quickly, saying, I'm very sorry, sir. Then he runs away quickly and escapes. The scene shifts once again to the guildmaster, when Mukoto was with him. The guildmaster tells him, the city's blacksmiths are proud of the fact that the weapons they forge are used to fight monsters. That's why they don't want to make something silly like cooking utensils, and that's why they got angry at you. Most blacksmith factories are owned by dwarves. They have an innate talent for craftsmanship. Their work is excellent, but they are quick to anger. They are also heavy drinkers. If they get good quality alcohol, they neglect their work, and here lies the big problem. Business discussions with them become easier if you offer them alcohol as a gift. They are extortionists. Instead of offering money, you can give them these things. Then, he gives him money for the items he gave him in the dungeon. After that, Mukoto leaves, sets up the table, and starts preparing the food. They will eat wyvern rice. Then they eat, and it was a very delicious meal. Now it's time to browse the online grocery store. He is looking for alcohol to use as a bribe for those blacksmiths. In a few seconds, the box arrives, and it seems to be 2%. But unfortunately, it reduces strength for 5 minutes. Sweet comes and asks him, what is this? Is it camel urine? He tells him, no, you fool, it's liquor. The scene when Mukoto went to another blacksmith and said, peace be upon you, I would like to order something from you. The blacksmith asked him, what kind of weapon? Is it a sword, an axe, a spear? What exactly do you want? Mukoto replied, no sir, not a weapon, but something for cooking. Can you listen to me until the end? Then he pulls out the paper and starts explaining to him, the upper grill should be removable so that he can adjust the charcoal or replace it with an iron plate. But the blacksmith told him to go back home, and he is very lucky because he met someone as kind as him. If it were someone else, he would have chased him with an axe and chopped off his head or kicked his behind, but Mukoto did not give up. Instead, he tries to coax him, saying, listen to me carefully, even for a little bit. But the blacksmith did not pay attention to him. Mukoto tries to press more and more. Master craftsman, do you like alcohol? The man stops and turns to him. Mukoto says, I brought something with me. It is good, imported, very rare liquor. Then he opens the bottle for him, and the man is captivated by the stinky aroma of the alcohol. He snatches the bottle from him, pours a glass of it, and finds it very intoxicating and sweet. He asks him, what kind of alcohol is this? It is very good. Mukoto speaks to himself, saying, it seems my secret anti-dwarf weapon has finally succeeded. Mukoto tells him that this wine was made on a very distant island and is difficult to obtain. But if you fulfill my request, I will bring you more. 5 bottles, the blacksmith muses and says to him, fine, you must give me 10 bottles and I agree to make anything you want. Then he opens the map again, and Mukoto asks about the delivery time. How long will it take, blacksmith? It seems the blacksmith replied that he should return after 3 days. The price, including materials, is 350 gold pieces, and his name is Elixir. The scene shifts to when Mukoto returned home. He talks to himself, saying, it's amazing how these merchants value this rotten, stinky alcohol more than money. How foolish and cheap they are. But in this country, I must manage my affairs somehow. However, I must also respect my conscience by always being loyal to my friends and giving them gifts and offerings, because they have always been a great help to me after God. They are the ones who brought me to where I am now, and without them, I wouldn't have been able to become the most famous chef in history. I didn't have much money, I was very poor from a distant, unknown country. But despite all this, I struggled and worked hard, and became a great man who others rely on and love. You, my friends, can also do this. If you work hard, everyone will love you, and you will surely succeed. The scene then shifts to him preparing food, setting up this giant cockatrice. First, he rubs herbal salt onto it, then he uses the frozen pilaf he bought. He places it inside the cockatrice, filling it to the brim. After that, he uses bamboo skewers to prevent the filling from leaking out, and ties the legs to maintain its shape. He uses a brush to completely coat it with olive oil, and then places it in the preheated oven. All that remains is to brush it with more oil occasionally, and wait. While it is being prepared, Mukoto asks Sui to make a deeper dish and 3 cups like this one. He gives him the material to use. Sui indeed makes these cups and a large dish out of this material, which is mithril. After the giant roasted cockatrice stuffed with pilaf is ready, Mukoto starts carving it and taking out the stuffing. He serves everyone their share. They are very hungry as the smell is appetizing. They start eating, finding the skin crispy, the meat succulent, and the rice soaked in the meat's juices and oil, making it delicious and light on the stomach. Mukoto warns them that the bird's bones are sharp, so they should be careful. Everyone is very happy with this delicious meal. Then, he serves them jelly as a dessert after the main course. They start eating it and find it very delicious. Afterwards, Mukoda goes to sleep, exhausted from conquering the dungeon and preparing the food. After a while, we see that his stats have improved, and he has gained double the experience. The next morning, he goes to Master Elish and gives him the bottles of alcohol they agreed upon. Master Elish is very happy with them. Then, Mukoda looks at the grill that the master made for him and finds it wonderful. The master says, "I saw that your design wouldn't hold much charcoal, so I adjusted the size. The heat will be more stable this way, and you will be able to grill delicious meat. The price is only 300 gold pieces. I got the alcohol, and I haven't made anything like this in a while, and it was interesting. Now, try out this grill, because I don't know if it's completely ready or not. You must try it first, as then I can make any adjustments immediately." Mukoda indeed prepares the meat, using bloody horn bull and orc meat. He places it on the grill after lighting the charcoal. He flips the meat and must be careful because accurate temperature adjustments cannot be made as with the magic oven. He has to move the meat so it doesn't burn. The master asks permission to also use it to grill his homemade sausage, saying it's very delicious and they should try it too. Mukoda's happy and thanks the master for his generosity. "Please, Master Elish, share with us too." After that, Mukoda cuts the meat and it is indeed grilled perfectly. He prepares the sauce and serves everyone their plate. He starts eating and finds the meat crispy on the outside and unbelievably juicy on the inside. He then eats his favorite garlic soy sauce. Mukoda serves them all a lot and asks the master to try it first with the soy sauce. The master tries it and finds it very delicious. Everyone starts trying it and is very pleased. Then the master serves them the sausage. Mukoda tries it and finds it very delicious. The master wants to drink the alcohol, so Mukoda quickly takes it from him and pulls out some items from his magic storage. He uses the mithril cup that Sui made and puts some ice in it. He slowly fills a quarter of the cup with the alcohol, stirs it, adds some soda water and stirs it quickly. Then he adds a squeeze of lemon to make it ready. He serves it to the master, who finds it so delicious and appetizing, it makes you want to jump. The master is surprised, because it is difficult to get ice this time of year, and it's crystal clear too. He is also surprised by the mithril cup. Mukoda is astonished that the master knows about it. The master says, "Don't think I'm stupid. I am the most famous blacksmith in this city. I didn't expect a quiet person like you to conquer the Dolan dungeon." Mukoda is surprised that he knows that. The master tells him, "You are the talk of the town and everyone knows about it." Mukoda is very shocked and speechless from his amazement. Then, he cleans the grill and finds that cleaning it is very easy. Thus, ends our episode today. Wait for us in upcoming episodes of this wonderful anime. We kindly ask you to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all our new content. Our episode begins with Mukoda and all his friends. He tells them, "Guys, actually, I was thinking about leaving Dolan soon." Fel replies, "I don't mind that, but I hope to enter the dungeon one more time before we leave." The dragon, Dora, and Sui agree with him. However, Mukoda has a different opinion and says, "Impossible, I won't do that again. The whole reason I want to leave is because of the rumors spreading about our adventure in the dungeon." He adds, "But if we absolutely must go to the dungeon, we will go tomorrow early in the morning. However, the others want to go hunting instead." Here, Mukoda decides to prepare the sausage recipes he learned from Master Elish. He goes to Sui and says, "I think you probably want to join the hunt, but can you help me instead of going there? Honestly, I want someone with me to keep me company." Sui agrees and jumps into Mukoda's arms, and Mukoda lifts him up, very happy. Meanwhile, Fel and the dragon prepare to leave for the hunt, but Mukoda stops them. He opens his magic storage and gives them a bag to store any prey they catch. He warns them, "You won't be able to process the monsters before reaching the next town because time is tight, so don't hunt too much, you heroes." Fel and the dragon leave, while Mukoda sets up his table and starts drawing something on the ground. He wants Sui to craft an item using the expensive and very strong mithril. Meanwhile, Mukoda buys some equipment and spices from the online grocery. Sui creates the funnel Mukoda drew perfectly. This design ensures heat won't transfer to the meat. It is truly a great invention. The cooking process. 1. First, he minces fresh meat using a high-quality mithril meat grinder. 2. He removes the saltiness from the white sheep casings, intestines. 3. He adds ice water to cool the meat so it doesn't spoil or smell bad due to the hot weather. 4. He adds the minced meat, sugar, salt, and black pepper from the online grocery and kneads it until it sticks together. 5. He attaches the nozzle to the piping bag, adds the seasoned meat, and wraps the sheep casings onto the end of the nozzle. Narrator's note, "It looks like he's making mambar, guys, doesn't it?" He begins filling the meat, ensuring no air gets inside. Once filled, they twist it to shape it and cut it into pieces. And that was the finish, my friends. My mouth is watering. Is yours too? Let us know in the comments. He starts grilling them on charcoal, and they turn out amazing. Narrator's note, "I can almost smell it from my house." Just kidding, but it really smells delicious. Mukoda tastes a piece and finds it fully cooked. Then, Sui takes the rest of the batch and slurps it all up in one go. At that moment, Fel and the dragon return and say, "You are eating without us? How could you do this? It is an unforgivable crime." Mukoda explains that it wasn't like that. He had just prepared the food and done a taste test. He then asks them about their hunting trip. They tell him it went well, thank God, and they caught a lot. Fel informs him that they left the prey that couldn't fit into the magic bag over there. When Mukoda looks, he sees a huge pile of monsters. He reminds Fel that he had explicitly told him not to overdo the hunting. Fel replies that they simply encountered them there, so it couldn't be helped. The little dragon, Dora, then chimes in, boasting that he was the one who took down the saber-toothed tiger. Mukoda decides to inspect the rest of their catch later, as they need to eat right now. Fel and the others are delighted because they are starving. Hunting really works up an appetite. Mukoda serves them the food. They eat it and find it delicious as always. The meal bursts with meat juices the moment they bite through the thin skin. Makoto is very happy that everyone likes the food. He decides to have some himself and finds it incredibly tasty. He decides it's only right to have his favorite drink with this meal, which increases his appetite even more. Later, Makoto goes to the guild, where he tells the guildmaster and his assistant that he will be leaving tomorrow, thanking them for all their help. The assistant is very saddened. He can't believe they are leaving after just one night, as he wanted to get closer to Dora. He asks Makoto not to forget his promise to bring any dragons they hunt back here for processing. He adds that if they are going to Berland, he should bring back a Leviathan. Makoto assures him that he is indeed the only person he would ask to handle dragons. Then Makoto asks Fel if he has ever hunted a Leviathan before. Fel replies that he has only hunted one before. Makoto tells the assistant not to get his hopes up too high, but if they encounter one, they will hunt it. They then say their goodbyes to leave the town. They set off on their journey, stopping at several places to rest and eat along the way. Eventually, they arrive at Nahoth. The guards stop them because of the huge beasts. Makoto reassures them, explaining that they are his familiars. He shows them his guild card. Upon seeing his rank A card, they stand at attention, realizing that a high-ranking adventurer would have familiars like these. They allow him to enter the town. Walking through, they find it smaller than Dolan, but it has an area bustling with people. As expected of a town known for pottery and ceramics, Makoto wants to take a look around. Later, he meets the guildmaster of Nahoth, a man named Goran, who tells them that Ugor had informed him about Makoto. He welcomes Makoto and his familiars, and then they get straight to business. Makoto tells the guildmaster that he wants to take on some high-level quests that have been left pending for a long time. Goran thanks him, as they happen to have two such quests available. 1. The first request is the extermination of carnivorous plants, known as evil plants, which are wreaking havoc in the forest west of the town. 2. The second request is to exterminate a group of cyclopes that have appeared at the clay mining site, where they source the raw materials for their pottery. Makoto looks at his familiars and asks if they can handle the evil plants and the cyclopes. Fel assures him that they can certainly do it, noting that cyclopes are so slow they aren't even considered real enemies, so they will complete the mission successfully. Makoto decides they will go to hunt the evil plants first thing tomorrow. Then he asks about renting a house to stay in while they are in town. The guildmaster agrees to help, but says he cannot provide a rental house himself. While finding an inn room would be easy, he suggests it would be better for Makoto to go to the Merchants Guild and make the request there. He offers to write him a letter of introduction right away. When Makoto arrives at the Merchants Guild, he meets the receptionist. Then Domenico, the vice guildmaster, appears and says, "I have read Goran's letter of introduction. You wish to rent a larger house where you and your companions can live together comfortably." Makoto confirms, "Yes, I want to rent a house for 6 to 10 days, and I am prepared to pay a good sum for it." Domenico informs him that there are 3 properties that might suit his needs: a house with 7 rooms, one with 13 rooms, or one with 10 rooms, all complete with a living room, dining room, and kitchen. Makoto looks at the floor plans and thinks about the number of rooms. They are huge, which is good because he needs enough space for Fel, the wolf, to move around and live in the house easily. Domenico then tells him the smallest house is actually the closest to the town center. It is fully equipped with everything you need: a 4-burner stove, a magic refrigerator, and it even has a bath. Makoto is delighted and decides to rent it immediately once he hears it has a large bath, comparable to a pool. Finally, Makoto arrives at the house and is dazzled when he enters. Everyone is thrilled because it is so spacious. It looks just like a celebrity's mansion. We then see Fel sleeping, while Dora, the dragon, and Sui, the slime, jump around happily. Makoto leaves them and enters the kitchen, exclaiming, "It's huge. Now it's time for dinner, so I should test this place out." He thinks about what to cook and says to himself, "This is a detached house and the neighbors are far away, so I don't have to worry about the smell." He opens his online grocery screen and orders potatoes and onions. He gets carrots, butter, and flour ready, and orders some spices as well. He thinks, "I will prepare something wonderful and rich for them." Cooking the curry, Makoto begins cooking, using orc meat to prepare a homemade curry. He monologues, "I have eaten at a variety of curry restaurants, including specialty shops and authentic Indian curry places, but in the end, I always come back to making homemade curry." 1. First, we add the onions and wait for them to soften. 2. Then we fry the orc meat, potatoes, and carrots, removing any scum that floats to the top. 3. Regarding the curry roux mixture, I'm a bit particular about mixing 2 different types every time. He adds the roux, and the aroma becomes wonderful. Fel, Dora, and Sui arrive, excited by the different and delicious smell. Dora remarks that he smells something he has never smelled before. Makoto explains to them, "This is called curry, and it is a very famous food where I come from." Makoto serves the food for them. They are visibly very happy to be eating something new. When they taste it, they are amazed and cannot stop eating because it is so good. It is very spicy, but delicious. Makoto says to himself, "I wasn't sure how the inhabitants of this world would react to it, since it contains so many spices." But suddenly, everyone demands more. He sits down to eat some with them, finding it appetizing and very delicious. Everyone ends up overeating because the food is just that good. Afterward, they move to the bathhouse. They find the bath amazing and decide they want to bathe in this luxurious tub every day. However, Fel hates bathing and gets very annoyed. But Makoto tells him, "You haven't bathed in a while, and you just ate curry, so you must take a bath so you smell fresh and nice." Fel agrees. Makoto begins washing him, scrubbing his fur and cleaning him thoroughly. With Sui's help, he rinses him with water. When Fel shakes his fur dry, it glistens because it is so clean. Makoto tells Fel to choose any room he likes to sleep in, which makes the wolf very happy. Then Makoto gets into the warm bath with Dora and Sui. It feels incredibly comfortable in the refreshing water, and they become completely relaxed. After this lovely bath, they all go to sleep. In the morning, they head to their destination to search for the evil plants. Feel reports. These plants are scattered, but there is a large concentration of them deep in the forest. Makoto suggests they split into 2 groups this time. Fel and Dora will handle the ones deep in the forest, while Sui and I will stick together. He asks them to collect the magic stones that drop from these plants, and everyone sets off. Makoto wants to test a specific medicine herbicide on these plants. He thinks, if this works, it will become a powerful weapon against plant T-Tech monsters in the future. Suddenly, Sui notices something strange. The evil plants appear, and Makoto decides to defeat them alongside Sui. Many plants emerge. Sui attacks them, while Makoto uses the herbicide to kill them as well. They succeed in wiping out all the nearby evil plants. Suddenly, a massive plant appears and attacks Makoto with its branches. When Makoto sprays herbicide on the branches, it has no effect at all, and the monster throws Makoto to the ground. Just as it attacks again to kill him, Makoto sprays the herbicide directly on the root, successfully killing the plant. He then collects the magic stones dropped by the defeated plants. Fel and Dora return and report that they also succeeded in killing all their targets. They explain that while there were a great number of them, they were weak. They all go together to fight the huge giant, the Cyclops mentioned earlier. After finishing the mission, they return to the house, and Makoto takes a bath. Later, Makoto checks everyone's status. He realizes Sui has become stronger and acquired a new skill called gigantification, allowing him to greatly increase his size. When he checks Fel, he realizes that since Fel's level is already so high, it's hard to distinguish any major changes in his power. Dora, he sees that Dora's level has increased slightly. When he checks his own level, he sees that he has improved significantly this time, and was actually able to fight with some skill. And so ends our episode for today. To follow more episodes, please subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell to receive all the latest updates. The episode begins with Makoto and his group. He asks Fel what he thinks of the area, noting that, since there are no humans, it should be an ideal spot because humans have caused a lot of corruption. They reply, "Okay, perhaps this is the right place, as you say." Makoto then orders Sui to come out. "I want you to show your main size in this area now. Since we are alone, show off your skills." Sui agrees, but states that everyone must move away from the area. The dragon, Dora says, "You idiot, you're exaggerating. What are you actually going to do?" But Makoto was understanding, as he didn't know Sui's hidden power, so they should retreat as requested. Sui then inflates to a height of about 10 stories. Makoto and the others are shocked by the huge size. Fel says, "What is this huge slime? It's even bigger than the giant slime I met in the past." This means Sui is unique, even though only 3 months have passed since his birth. Makoto thinks this is likely due to the plastic and other world waste Sui cleans up every time, believing this is the main reason for his increased size, because he eats a lot of garbage. Sui starts jumping and shaking the ground. Makoto tells him, "Calm down, Sui, and return to your normal size now. You'll cause a disaster at this large size." Sui indeed shrinks to his basic size, which he always loves, allowing him to walk and roam anywhere without being seen. That huge size is eye-kicking, and the guild might immediately report and kill him. Makoto is happy he can reach this size, noting he'll rely on it when needed, perhaps as a barrier or even to shield them from the scorching sun in the desert. He then asks them, "What do you think about eating here?" They reply, "It's a good idea since it's morning, and they'll prepare something with what they have." He opens his magic bag, lays out his tables and takes out his tools. He brings fresh okra, chops it with a sharp knife, then adds some minced chicken and egg over rice. In about 10 minutes, he prepares the meal. The 3-color minced chicken bowl. Everyone is delighted and amazed by the beautiful presentation. Fel eats it, but finds the meat lacking and the flavor very light. The dragon, Dora, however, eats with a spoon and says, "I love this very much. It has an interesting texture." They notice Sui devours the egg topping without chewing. Everyone finishes quickly and wants another serving, so Makoto prepares a second dish, which they happily eat. Next, the scene shifts to the butcher's place, where the guildmaster and Makoto enter. They find the butcher cutting the strange creature, the metal lizard, and compliment him, asking when he will finish processing it. He informs them he'll finish tomorrow, God willing. The guildmaster tells Makoto, "I will give you your reward for this fat catch, but how about you take a tour of the city and buy some goods and fine pottery while I finish the processing?" The guildmaster gives him a list of places so he doesn't get lost. The scene moves to Makoto in the city streets. He arrives at the first suggested merchant, the Edda Trading Company, known for its keen eye and carefully selected products. The seller looks at him and asks, "Are you an A-rank adventurer? That's very good, but what kind of pottery are you looking for?" Makoto says he hasn't thought about it yet, but the seller is very pushy. Makoto leaves him for the second seller, Savory Workshop, a very famous shop with many loyal customers, known for earning complete, high trust, and a full quality mark. Makoto looks at a self-cooling mug mixed with a magic stone powder, imagining juice in it and how lovely it would be. The third place is Dolan Workshop, famous for ceramic vases, whose customers are mostly women, and it also has a complete quality mark. Makoto ends up buying items for 168 gold pieces, a truly hefty sum. He finds Fel looking sad and asks what's wrong. Fel tells him he wants to enter the dungeon. This is not surprising from Fel, who had previously said they would go to the sea, where there are sea snakes, lobsters, and shrimp, but Fel admits he loves the dungeon by nature and dislikes playing around at the sea because of all the naked women. He asks Dora and Sui, and they also want the dungeon. Ultimately, Makoto doesn't agree to enter the dungeon immediately, saying, "Tomorrow we will accept a guild quest, because I spent a few days preparing food last time, so we can't enter the dungeon right away." Fel agrees, but on the condition that Makoto prepares meat for dinner that evening, and then he will agree to the guild quest instead of the dungeon. Everyone is happy. Mukoda then goes to the man who handles the monster, who informs him the processing is complete but asks for a longer wait regarding payment due to a problem at the guild. They are currently very busy. Mukoda accepts the excuse and asks what's going on at the guild. The man explains that an orc settlement has appeared in the forest opposite the village and the road north of Nihov. They are high-level beasts, so they believe it is only a matter of time before an orc king appears. The guildmaster then arrives and says, given the number of orcs, we will need at least 6 parties of C-rank adventurers or higher. Unfortunately, most teams are currently away on other requests. We only have 1 C-rank team joining so far, but that's not enough. Mukoda, can you accept this request? Mukoda agrees, as he had planned to accept some requests today. He consults everyone, telling them, since it's nice to get some meat, I don't think it's a bad idea. Fel says, an orc settlement? That sounds extremely boring, but as you say, gathering more meat is good, so I don't mind. Everyone agrees to the mission and Mukoda accepts the request. The guildmaster is very pleased and takes them to meet the others they will be working with. They meet the group and the guildmaster introduces Mukoda, telling them he is an A-rank adventurer who will be joining them. One of the team members, Alonzo, leader of the Shadow Warriors, stands up, shakes Mukoda's hand, and says it's an honor to cooperate with an A-rank adventurer. He introduces the rest of the team. He says, I've heard rumors, but you really do have a Fenrir as a familiar, and a dragon and a slime too. Mukoda confirms, yes, I was able to conquer the Dolan dungeon thanks to them. They are very trustworthy companions. Alonzo is astonished that they conquered the Dolan dungeon, which reassures him. Mukoda thinks to himself, they look a little intimidating, but they are nice. He asks them to leave immediately, to finish the mission quickly. He asks the guildmaster where the orc settlement is. Goran, the guildmaster, says, it's in the forest, a day's walk from here. Mukoda is shocked, because it's a very long distance, 2 full days for the round trip. Mukoda tells them, please, let's use a different mode of transportation. They go outside the guild, and he shows them Sui in his huge form. They are all astonished, never having seen such a massive slime. Mukoda asks them all to climb aboard and he rides Fel. They depart and arrive at their destination in the blink of an eye. They find the orc settlement, about 200 orcs strong. Fel says, only we will eliminate them, and we can take care of any orcs that escape. Mukoda agrees and asks the other team members to leave the attack to his familiars. We will deal with any orc that manages to escape. They don't believe him, but Mukoda assures them his familiars are very strong and things will be fine, he will only observe. The animals begin the attack with great force. Fel starts with an earth attack, eliminating many, and Dora follows with a fiery strike, also killing many. The other team is shocked by the power of these creatures. Mukoda and his team cooperate, killing all the monsters with their power and magic. The other team is astonished by what they are doing. Clement says, I can't believe the orc settlement was wiped out this quickly, they are very strong. Some orcs escape and are afraid of Mukoda. He warns them about the escapees, then thinks, I've taken down stronger monsters in the dungeon. I'll be fine. Mukoda attacks an orc, cutting off its hand and punching its stomach. But another orc appears, hitting Mukoda and knocking him to the ground. Mukoda stands up again, attacks it from behind, and kills it. After this, they see that all the orcs in the area have been killed. Alonso says, we have dealt with all the orcs that escaped. We will meet up with Fel and the others. I'll put these orcs in my toolkit for now, and we'll decide what to do with them. Clement says, they destroyed the orc settlement so easily, we barely sustained some injuries. Ernest adds, everything finished so quickly this time. Mukoda tells his friends, let's load up all these orcs. It's not even enough for my familiars. The dragon is angry because the dungeons are definitely better, and Sui is happy they succeeded in defeating so many. Mukoda then talks to the team and asks if they want something to eat. Mukoda prepares the food, and they are impressed. Clement says, it's so delicious. The sauce goes perfectly with the sweetness of the meat and the eggs. Mukoda tells them this food is very famous where he comes from. After that, they return to the guild. Goran is astonished when he sees all the orcs and can't believe they finished so quickly. You were of great service. No amount of thanks is enough. Alonzo tells Mukoda they didn't do much and asks if Mukoda is sure they should receive all the money. Mukoda begs them to take it. Clement replies, that level of power is illogical. Goran tells them, all I can say is this is to be expected from a Fenrir. Ernest says, it wasn't just the Fenrir, but the little dragon and the slime were also very strong. The truth is, all of Mukoda's familiars are powerful. Alonzo asks about the familiars, and Mukoda says they went somewhere else, saying they would complain about their hunger if they stayed. Mukoda thinks to himself, the wolf complains all the time, but he returned quietly when I told him I would increase his cake ration. Alonzo agrees with him that they will plan to enter the dungeon in Aveling, and they say their goodbyes. Mukoda goes home and tells his familiars that this is the last day he can use the kitchen, so he should try to prepare something fancy. He requests all the ingredients. We see that he will use a lot of salt. He tells them he will cook with salt. First, he will rub garlic on the meat and add black pepper. Now, we skillfully separate the eggs. Then we add salt and a generous sprig of fresh rosemary, plucked from the stem, to the egg white mixture. Mukoda mixes the ingredients until the consistency is pliable and perfect for coating. A painful memory surfaces. We'll lightly wrap the meat in slightly boiled lettuce, Mukoda says, trying to avoid the disastrous over-salted result he got a long time ago. Now, we spread the salt mixture onto a parchment lin pan, place the meat on top, and cover it completely with the salt. Sui says in astonishment, the meat turned completely white. Mukoda confidently replies, exactly. This salt crust will lock in all the juices and flavor inside. All that's left is to bake it in a preheated oven. It should be ready soon. Let's make the sauce while the meat cools. Sui notices That's a lot of eggs. Mukoda reveals with a gentle smile. I used a lot of your favorite eggs, Sui. Sui brightens up with joy at this sweet gesture. I'll put a generous amount of vinegar in the remaining egg yolks. Sui, could you mix that for me? Sui enthusiastically mixes it. Mukoda praises her. That looks delicious. You're amazing, Sui. Come on. Let's call the wolf and Chan for dinner. The wolf and Chan arrive, staring at the strange salt rock. Wolf, what is this? Chan, where's dinner? But as the aroma seeped out from the crust, their expressions changed. The wolf cries out in pure happiness. What a delicious looking piece of meat. Chan echoes in awe. Awesome. Mukoda smiles. It was steamed with a salted dough crust. It smells wonderful. All that's left is to cut it into easy-to-eat pieces and pour the sauce over it. The salt-baked bloody horned bull is ready. Sui can't wait. Master, let's eat. After thanking them for waiting, the feast begins. The wolf, tasting first. The salt flavor is absolutely perfect. Chan. It's tender and savory. Sweet, the egg sauce is delicious. Mukoda finally tastes it, completely enraptured. Delicious. The meat is moist, tender, and perfectly cooked. The saltiness is exactly right, too. Wrapping it in lettuce was a brilliant idea. And because it's an extraordinary night, it's time for a luxurious dessert. Let's have a little dessert tonight, Mukoda says generously. The wolf gets a whole strawberry cake. Chan gets a pudding parfait with strawberries and bananas. And Lovely Sweet gets a chocolate cake. Everyone is overjoyed. Mukoda concludes the heartwarming scene. You all worked hard after all. At the guild headquarters, the delayed reward. The scene shifts to the guildmaster, who hands Mukoda a heavy gold pouch. This is the reward you earned for the evil plants and the Cyclops, which we were delayed in giving you. The amount is 161 gold pieces. Mukoda accepts steadily. Received. Guildmaster, are you heading to Berlion right after this? Mukoda confirms. Yes, that's the plan. The assistant guildmaster bids them farewell with a smile. We hope you visit this town again if you get the chance. We'll be waiting for you. Mukoda returns the farewell. I wish you both well. And that concludes today's episode, full of delicious meat and plentiful gold. If you liked the video, hit that magical like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new adventures from Mukoda and his amazing companions. Our episode begins with Mukoda and his friends finally reaching the sea, perhaps the Red Sea, or maybe the Pacific Ocean. The sea was incredibly beautiful and the sun was shining bright. Everyone was truly happy because it was their first time seeing the ocean. Fen, however, asked them, "What are you all so excited about? It's just salt water and nothing else. There's nothing to be enthusiastic about." Mukoda calmed them down, saying, "Guys, relax, the sea is full of memories and emotions. Plus, it's really nice and healthy because it contains iodine, which boosts your mood. We can play here, set off fireworks, have a beach barbecue, and dance, do everything." But Fen still insisted it was just a lair for sea monsters. Anyway, let's head down to the beach in the seaside town of Berlion. They finally arrive, and the guards ask to see their IDs. Mukoda shows them his gold card, and they are allowed into the town. They wonder about the town's identity, as Mukoda heard it was famous for its fresh seafood market. As they walk, they spot a fisherman. The fisherman calls out, "Hey, kid, you're an adventurer, but you have terrible luck coming here today. Do you know why?" Mukoda asks, "I honestly don't know, but tell me what happened." The fisherman explains that a Kraken appeared near the shore 3 days ago. "Unfortunately, we can't even go out fishing now. It's truly terrifying." He looks at Mukoda's massive familiar and adds, "Perhaps he is strong enough." They sadly leave and arrive at the Adventurers Guild. Marks, the one-eyed guildmaster, welcomes them. "I suppose you've heard the rumors. It's true, a giant monster appeared 3 days ago." They sit down, and Marks explains. "A rank B party was here when the Kraken appeared, but they refused the job because facing sea monsters is too difficult. But I know a lot about you. Your reputation has spread across the country, and you accept high-level challenging jobs like this. What do you say? Will you take this on?" Fen quickly jumps in, saying, "You can count on us. We'll eat that Kraken because they're delicious." The guildmaster is taken aback as Krakens are not typically eaten, but Fen seems prepared to eat it anyway. They accept the quest. Mukoda then asks Marks about the Merchants Guild because he wants to rent a house for his familiars and himself to stay in. They arrive at their destination, a large, beautiful mansion. Mukoda is astonished by its beauty, hardly believing they managed to rent an entire former aristocrat's palace. Huge, magnificent, and overlooking the sea. It costs 70 gold coins a week. Expensive, but well worth it. Everyone is thrilled about the big mansion. Fen immediately tells Mukoda, "Hurry up and start making dinner because I'm hungry." Mukoda enters the kitchen and explores. The facilities seem extremely advanced. He asks himself, "What should I make now? We need something good." He decides to make Hayashi rice. He opens his online supermarket app and selects ingredients: mushrooms, broccoli, and fish broth. For the meat, he specifically looks for halal slaughtered meat, zab shari. He prepares everything. First, he cuts the meat into very thin slices, then chops the onions. He adds the onions to a heated oiled pan and sautés them until they become translucent. Once the aroma starts to come out, he adds the meat, salt, and pepper. He lightly stirs them together, then adds water and skims off any foam that rises during the 20-minute simmer. Afterward, he adds the broth. He turns the heat up again. After mixing the broth with the rest of the ingredients, he pours the mixture over the rice. He adds some boiled broccoli for color, then pours the cream on top. The dish, Minotaur and Mushroom Hayashi rice, is ready. Mukoda calls his animal friends who are still playing. They smell the delicious food and find it very appetizing, noting it smells similar to the curry they had last time. Everyone tries the delicious meal and loves it, finding it even better than the curry in previous dishes. The meat melted in their mouths. Mukoda is very happy that they enjoyed the meal. He tries it too, finding it extremely delicious. They ask for more and more until they finish their food and their bellies are full. They are completely satisfied and relax on the sofa. Sui asks for a cake. Mukoda is surprised since they all ate so much, but Fen says it's natural to have dessert after every meal. Mukoda agrees to make a dessert on the condition that they work hard tomorrow and earn a lot of money. He serves them the dessert and they eat it as if it's the first time they've ever had food. They are all completely happy. The next morning, they go to the harbor and don't see the Kraken in the sea. Fen asks Mukoda, how will we reach the deep sea? Mukoda replies, didn't you tell me before that you managed to defeat it some time ago? How did you do that? Fen says, I used lightning magic from the top of a cliff to attack the Kraken in the sea below, and it had appeared close to a nearby cliff. I don't know how we'll reach the Kraken today. Mukoda gets angry. He had accepted the mission with high confidence, thinking Fen had a method. Fen states, I can't defeat it if I can't see it, and there's no way I can see it from here. Anyway, we need a boat to sail away from the shore. Mukoda asks the fishermen for help. One says, impossible, our boat almost sank. Another apologizes, fearing for his boat. A young man says, I don't even have a boat big enough to fit all of you. Next, we see Mukoda asking Fen what they should do now. Suddenly, Sui and Dora-chan appear in the water, moving quickly. Sui catches a small fish and they are happy. Then, they all ride on Sui. Mukoda comments, can we reach the Kraken at this rate? He tells Sui, I'm so glad to have you with me. You're truly amazing. I can't believe we can travel this fast and comfortably. Everything would be perfect if this were just a normal boat trip. They realize they've traveled quite far. Fen says, it's a little hard to tell since we're at sea, but according to its location, the Kraken should be right in front of us. Mukoda asks Fen to keep the barrier around Sui strong. The dragon and Fen sense the Kraken in the sea and feel it approaching. Suddenly, it bursts out of the water. Mukoda, both angry and fearful, asks, that thing is weird. Why is something wrapped around the Kraken? Fen informs him it's a sea serpent. They start fighting each other. Mukoda is astonished, saying, this has turned into a kaiju movie entirely. Fen tells them he will handle the Kraken and Dora-chan will handle the sea serpent. They activate their powers and attack them. Fen notes, they were tightly tangled. I'm sure the magic attacks flowed through them easily. Sui is sad because she didn't kill a fish like them. Mukoda tells her she helped a lot, and there's something else he needs her to help with. She lifts the sea serpent and the Kraken, and Mukoda tries to separate them. Suddenly, a huge fish emerges from the sea and swallows both the sea serpent and the Kraken in its mouth. Sui comes to the rescue, attacks the fish and kills it. She is then happy that she caught a fish. Mukoda smiles and tells Sui, you were truly amazing, Sui. Fen then speaks, saying, yes, I don't sense any other monsters. It looks like the matter is settled. Dora-chan confidently adds, that was too easy. Mukoda pauses, then asks in surprise, but still, what exactly is this giant thing? Aspido, Chilan? It's so hard to pronounce. The status window appears, answering him. Aspidocolone, rank S monster, edible, high-quality white meat. Mukoda's eyes widen in amazement. We must prepare this, no matter the cost. And those two are S-rank monsters as well. More importantly, the information boxes now tell me if they are edible. Does this mean my level has increased? Well, I'm grateful for that. He then adds, as he stores the loot, let's put all of this in my item box and get ready to go back. The scene shifts to the guildmaster talking with the girl. He asks her, what? Mukoda and his familiars went out to sea? It's only been one day. I was planning to go after finishing some preparations. The girl calmly replies, they've already returned and they're waiting for you now. The guildmaster's eyes widen in astonishment, and he hurries to meet them. After meeting Mukoda, Fen, Dora-chan, and Sui, he says, all right, I understand now. The sea serpent and the Kraken attracted the Aspidogalone to our fishing area, and so you ended up defeating all of them and bringing them back. I heard what happened, but you are truly on a different level. Fen confidently replies, to me, it was just a big fish, not much different from the others. The man laughs a little, then asks them, but what did you do about the boat? I thought you would come to borrow one. Mukoda is surprised and asks, you had a boat? The guildmaster answers with a smile. Of course, we're an adventurers guild in a coastal town. Anyway, no problem. We can't confirm the kill here, so let's go to the processing area. When they arrive, everyone looks at the Kraken. The man says, so, this is the Kraken. The onlookers gasp at its enormous size, saying in astonishment, what massive size, no wonder it was never defeated before. The guildmaster adds, not only this, but the sea serpent and the Aspidochalone are also waiting for you. Everyone exclaims in unison, that's impossible! The guildmaster seriously tells them, remember, speed in butchering is key when dealing with sea monsters. Mukoda approaches him and says, as soon as you finish butchering, I want to settle things as we agreed upon earlier. The guildmaster asks hesitantly, are you sure? I heard your familiars were planning to eat it. Mukoda smiles and says, they're just too big for us, and I want to give the fishermen a chance to benefit. The guildmaster remembers Fen's words earlier. We were able to get the sea serpent and the Aspidolone too, and I don't mind sharing some. He snaps back to reality and smiles. Mukoda enthusiastically says, let's eat this squid. I mean this Kraken. Everyone. Everyone's faces light up, but one man whispers to his friend in disbelief, wait, are we really going to eat this? The friend laughs and says, now that the matter is settled, let's start. They begin cutting the Kraken into pieces. After the initial processing is finished, the guildmaster asks Mukoda, we've finished the preliminary preparation. What should we do now? Mukoda replies, I need to prepare a few things, so please wait a moment, and I hope everyone can help. The guildmaster immediately responds, all right, I'll summon the fishermen while you prepare. Mukoda walks away, muttering to himself, I have the spices, but I need to stock up on more. Sake, mirin, soy sauce, and minced ginger. This should be a perfect sauce. They rub the sauce onto the Kraken meat. Mukoda says, and now all we have to do is make sure it's well cooked. The guildmaster, looking at the huge quantity, replies, we'll need a lot of fuel to cook something this size. Mukoda uses fire magic to instantly create a massive fire for the grill. Everyone is thrilled. Mukoda serves them food and drinks, and when they taste the meal, they find it incredibly delicious and thank Mukoda for it. As the sun sets, they leave, and that's how our episode ends today. To follow more episodes, please subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell to receive all new updates. Our final episode begins with Fel waking Mukoda up. Mukoda gets annoyed with the wolf for waking him up so early, but then he remembers that the night before, he had actually asked Fel to wake him because the morning market opens early. They head to the market and Mukoda is dazzled. The place is bustling with life and energy, completely different from usual. Suddenly, Fel catches a delicious scent from afar and gets excited. Mukoda looks over and sees food stalls set up in the square. Mukoda and his friends are impressed by the delicious food being prepared. They stop at a fishmonger's stall and Mukoda orders grilled fish. The vendor recognizes him, explaining that thanks to Mukoda they were able to catch a huge amount of fresh fish. He thanks Mukoda profusely and offers the food for just 3 coins, a very cheap price, as a way to express his gratitude. They all eat and find the food incredibly appetizing and delicious. Mukoda suggests they go around together to try various other delicious foods. They visit a soup stall, where the vendor tells him it is giant rock clam soup. Mukoda wants to try eating it grilled, and the vendor assures him it is delicious whether grilled or boiled. He moves on to another item, which the vendor identifies as oysters. Mukoda wants to eat them raw with a squeeze of lemon, but the vendor is shocked. She says she has never heard of eating oysters that way. She warns him against it to avoid getting fish parasites and insists they must be cooked. Mukoda agrees, buys the oysters, and leaves. He then goes to a shrimp vendor and buys some of those as well. Later, we see Mukoda sitting alone, sipping tea, as his animal companions have already eaten and fallen asleep. He wonders what to make for dinner, considering they have so much seafood. An idea strikes him. He starts the fire, which wakes Fel, who asks if he is going to grill something. Mukoda tells him he is cooking something different. He takes cabbage and chops it. Then he opens his online supermarket skill and buys seasoned flour and yakisoba noodles, thin rope-like flour. He mixes the flour with water and eggs, stirring well. He adds the chopped cabbage and mixes until the batter is fluffy and lightly coated. He adds the seafood to the mix. Next, he prepares the griddle, oils it lightly, and pours the mixture onto it. He fries the noodles, combines them with the batter, and tops it with shrimp. He adds a special sauce, creating a delicious aroma, followed by a little mayonnaise, some seaweed, and bonito flakes. The food is ready. Everyone tastes it and finds it incredibly delicious. He then proceeds to fry the oysters, likely in a pancake style as well, and everyone gets excited to eat them. When one side is cooked, he tries to flip it to cook the other side, but the food crumbles apart, causing his friends to panic. However, Mukoda reassures them, telling them he can fix it, and successfully finishes the dish. Fel was eating happily in front of me, noting that the rich oysters and the cabbage inside balanced each other perfectly. The little dragon, Dora-chan, looked very sad, and Sui as well because they hadn't eaten yet. Mukoda told them to wait and be patient so they could get a portion that was cooked properly. He decided to add some slices of dried meat he had in storage to the mix. After half an hour of cooking and eating, Mukoda finally started washing and drying the dishes, declaring, "Food based on flour is the symbol of justice." BL approaches and says, "We are going to go exercise to digest our food. We ate so much and didn't leave anything for ourselves. We can barely breathe from all the eating." Mukoda hands them the magic bag. Fel asks, "What do you want, you fool? Do you want us to put our prey in this bag again? You really intend to exploit us, don't you?" Mukoda replies, "Yes, you stupid glutton. How else am I supposed to cook for you and get money? You have to pull your weight too. But don't be late coming back." At that moment, we see Marks, the guildmaster, entering. He says, "I will sit with you now, Mukoda, and tell you some information. This document arrived at the Merchant's Guild a short while ago. I thought it was for you, so take it now." Mukoda takes it, opens it, and is amazed to see it is from Lambi. The letter reads, "The soap and shampoo you sold us wholesale have achieved immense popularity. We limited quantities to 3 items per person, but our stock is already running out due to the crowds in demand. Seriously, Mukoda, you are truly amazing and do your work with a conscience. Few people are like that. Please restock us as soon as possible. We are counting on you, my friend. As for the cloak you requested, it is almost ready." Mukoda thinks to himself, "Maybe I will create a lot of stock for them. Also, I really want that cloak. It will give me a powerful presence, besides drawing out negative energy from the body and restoring vitality." Marks did not look well. When Mukoda asked, "What is the matter, Marks?" the guildmaster replied, "It's nothing, I was just looking for your familiars." Mukoda told him they went on a hunting trip. Marks stands up and says, "We are still in the verification phase, so I will return later today. I won't tell you what is happening right now, but there is something I must tell you, perhaps tonight. Wait for me, Mukoda." After Marks leaves, Mukoda thinks, could it be that another Kraken has appeared? Or is it worse than that? But if that were the case, he wouldn't need to keep it a secret. Maybe it is much more dangerous. God help us. The scene shifts to Fel and his companions running at full power. They are talking about the last time they ate, and how their bodies are surging with energy, allowing them to perform their duties as fast as possible. Suddenly, something very strange happens. A shadow is cast over them from above. They are shocked. When they look up, they find a massive dragon passing through the area. The scene returns to Mukoda. The familiars finally return home, gathering around him. They ask him, "Why do you look so sad?" "What are you thinking about, Makoto?" He replies, "Nothing, nothing. But tell me, how was your walk and your trip?" Fel tells him it was good, and they were very excited and happy. When Makoto asks what they hunted today, they tell him they caught some nice things he would want to see himself. And here was the shock, my friends. Yes, it is the dragon that was flying over them. They actually hunted it down. This is extremely dangerous. Makoto is shocked and nearly dies from the sheer surprise. Are you surprised? Fel asks. Makoto cries, "I'm about to die of astonishment. That's a red dragon, a very powerful opponent. How did you manage to defeat it?" Fel explains that it was indeed difficult, but you know I am very stubborn and can do anything. Strength isn't everything. Intelligence combined with strength can do unexpected things. Makoto asks them, "What do you want me to do with something huge like this? It's enormous." Fel replies, "This red dragon was still young and small in size. I am sure that means its meat is still tender and very delicious." Thoughts quickly turn to Dolan, specifically the guildmaster there, Elend. They remember they must ask him if he knows how to process it. He is an expert butcher. He can dismantle it perfectly, separating bone from skin, meat and blood. Yes, my friends, that eccentric elf with the big ears. He possesses great skills, and if he discovers they ask someone else to do it, he might go crazy. Makoto opens his magic bag and puts the dragon inside until he can figure out what to do with it. Then, he surprises them with a drink. Makoto then asks Zui to turn the crank on the machine, but this time there is ice inside, not meat. They are going to shave the ice. The dragon, Dora-chan, asks, "Do you want me to melt it?" But Makoto refuses, telling him, "No, don't turn it into water." We see Sui turning the crank, and Makoto is delighted as the ice comes out fluffy. He tells them, "We have strawberry, watermelon, lemon, blue Hawaii, and milk, condensed milk. You can choose whatever you like." Sui chooses the white one. Fail comments, "You froze water, shaved it into fine pieces, and even decided to add color to it." Makoto replies, telling him this treat is perfect for a day like today. Sui wants milk on his. This dish is called shaved ice. Sui eats it, rejoicing and amazed by the taste. The dragon then asks for the blue color, eats it, and is equally impressed. Finally, Fel asks for the red one and tries it. He tastes it, noting that it is strawberry but different from the strawberry shortcake. Still, it is sweet and delicious. Then we see Fel in pain because he ate too quickly. Brain freeze. It turns out that for Fel, this shaved ice is actually a stronger opponent than a red dragon. Afterward, Makoto and his friends go to the Adventurers Guild and see a large crowd gathering there. He asks Marks what is happening. Marks replies, "We received a report that something terrible has appeared in the nearby mountains. We just reviewed the investigation report." Here is the translation of the final part of the episode. Makoto asks to speak with him privately, and they head to a separate room. Before they get to the heart of the matter, Makoto takes the dragon out of his magic item box. Marks is shocked and dumbfounded by this terrifying surprise. He exclaims, "I was thinking of asking for your help, but the problem has already been solved. I can't believe you actually managed to hunt a red dragon." Makoto tells him it happened by coincidence. Marks is amazed, because red dragons are reputed to be the strongest among all beasts and dragons. Fel interjects, "It can't even be considered a true enemy. If I fought it seriously, it's very weak compared to me, though. I did have support this time." Marks praises him profusely. It is expected, after all, he is a legendary beast. He then asks Makoto, "Aren't you an A-rank adventurer? Shouldn't you be C-rank now?" Makoto says yes, terrified, adding, "But I had nothing to do with this. Fel and the others were the ones who hunted the red dragon." Guildmaster Marks tells him, "You should be rank S, seeing as you have familiars that can hunt something like this so easily." Makoto tries to argue, saying, "I only showed you this so you wouldn't worry about the situation. Please don't make this public knowledge." The Guildmaster gets angry then, pointing out that the time it took to hunt such a beast was incredibly short, and this is crucial information that must be reported. That is the duty of any adventurer in the guild. That brings us to the end of our season. Stay tuned for future seasons of this wonderful anime. Please subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to get all the latest updates.